Last Stop on the L is proudly sponsored by Dulce Amore Couture, premium couture accessory line, specializing in jewelry and watches featuring the handcrafted Amore collection. Based in New York City, but not limited to, you can meet Miss Yeezy Smith on Facebook / Dulce Amore Couture or Instagram Dulce Amore Couture, or visit the website dulceamorecouture.bigcartel.com.
It's your boy Juice, a.k.a. The Juice is Loose. Studio 231 is located in the beautiful and trendy Lower East Side of Manhattan with studio rates and full studio setup. If you'd like to record with me at Studio 231, you can reach me at juice-cannon.com or Twitter at juicecannon.
This is Canarsie, Rockaway Parkway. The next stop on this Brooklyn-bound podcast is Last Stop on the L. Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Is Brooklyn in here tonight? Brooklyn,
We live, folks. Welcome back to the Last Stop on the L. It's your boy Danny Ocean. I want to start today's episode with a special shout out to the big homie Vladimir Putin. Won his election, air quotes. My son got 72% of the vote. Half of it was stolen, but whatever. It still counts. No one's going to challenge you on it. I do have one problem with you, Vlad, though. At your victory rally, you did a chant. I'm going to need you to stop doing that chant because you're trying to bite our style. So everybody knows Americans, when we go abroad, we want to be obnoxious. We chant USA, USA.
Right. Did you say USSR?
My dude, Vladdy, was at his victory rally going, Russia, Russia. That's not even saying the word. Not even in your language. Like, she need to stop that. What? Like, don't be back. Don't be swagger jacking. Anyway, it's your boy, Danny Ocean, DANNYOCION. Welcome back to another episode, Last Stop on the L.
How do you follow that? Go ahead, Vonna.
Yeah, I don't even know how to. I had something to say, and that just like totally curved my shit. What up, Vonna Sage here, ready to talk the shit, talk all of the shit.
Yo, it's your boy Mayhem Mike. Find me at YFR Mayhem on Twitter. Of course, follow the movement. Last Stop on the L on Facebook. Last Stop on the L on Twitter, and as well as Instagram.
On the gram.
This is like the second episode we made Vonna speechless. You know, she wasn't too happy about it last time. I'm okay with this.
I'm not even eating anything right now, and I'm speechless. Like, this is ridiculous.
All right, we're going to jump right into it. I mean, I had originally put this item at the end of the segment, but screw that. Shout out to Wakanda.
Woo!
Black Panther is now officially the #1 grossing comic book movie in U.S. domestic history. If you're tired of us talking about Black Panther, then I don't even know why you listen to this podcast at this point.
Just change.
I feel like you should watch it twice.
We're gonna be talking
Even
about
if you don't go, just buy the tickets.
Yep.
Like
2018 just started. Like, we got some time. We fresh into this new year. Fresh.
Yo.
Fresh.
Black Panther's out here making so many accomplishments. Like, the most selling superhero movie of all time. That's dope. That's dope. Like, first of all, once again, I'm gonna say it again. DC right now, you need to fire everybody. Fire everybody. The janitor, the people who delivers your mail.
Hey,
like,
not the janitor. You got bills to pay. God damn.
Everybody. But like, that's just dope, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. What's even crazier is I cannot think of a movie in modern history that's had the box office for 5 straight weeks.
Yep.
Like, because we're in an era where there's so many blockbusters, to maintain that #1 spot for that long is damn near impossible.
To compete against each other. Mm-hmm.
So to even do that so consistently, and it's not like other stuff hasn't come up against it, it just hasn't been as successful. So that's incredible.
Oh, you saw that little fluff piece some bitch ass Hollywood reporter tried to say, Black Panther's made it difficult for other movies.
That was the weirdest thing I've ever heard.
I was like, I think every person of color looked at that shit was like, what kind of white-splaining shit are you sniffing right now?
Whenever
like,
we have a progressive series or a movie or anything on film, they always come after it. Remember Dear White People? Right?
Yes.
They said they called that racist. The movie and the actual series.
Yes,
the series was great, by the way.
The series was dope. But I think it was episode 4. Oh my god, that house party. Oh my god. Anyway,
don't soil nothing.
So anyway, what I wanted to say real quickly, just to add on to that. Remember, a certain movie producer was also saying that Netflix is the reason why the movie cinema the tradition is dying, the culture is dying. Well,
Christopher Nolan.
Right. This just brought it back, bro.
Seriously.
This just brought
Step
it
your
back.
cookies up, bitch. I don't know what the fuck you was doing.
If there was a time that...
I'm sorry.
If
Was that
ever
too
there
much?
was a time... No, you just caught me because I wasn't... If ever there was a time to revise
Blame
movie
that on this
culture,
one.
This is it.
That's the shit he says. Blame that on him.
Okay.
Step your cookies up, bitch.
Shout out to Chris Hybrid, Dream Presenter. He couldn't be with us today. He's out here using the Force.
So, I want to talk about Children of Blood and Bone. Vonna Sandra is telling us about this. It's a book that we all need to check out. So,
Yes.
I don't know nothing about that. I'll be honest with you, folks. I'm not really a reader, so I'm really listening to this to see, like, should
You're
I...
not really a listener either.
That is also true.
Welcome to the coffee corner. We're gonna talk about this book. I think. Wait, how do you not read or listen? You know mad shit. So how do you learn this shit? Like, does someone tell? Like, does someone touch you and you just get the information? Like, kind of Matrix shit.
Can I tell you? Can I tell you how I called this shit? Can I tell you how I called this shit months ago about how he retains information? What happens is he comes home, right? He may have listened to something, may have read something on the train, whatever. He preloads it, right? Comes home on the day, he leaves the TV on. He's still doing other things like any other human being. He's eating, he's listening to other stuff. And in the back of his mind, he's listening to what's being said and then turning around.
That's smart.
Mind you, he's still carrying conversations via Messenger because he doesn't answer texts unless you call him.
He
doesn't
sure
answer his phone.
doesn't.
He doesn't.
He sure fucking doesn't.
Right.
He'd be like, nigga, you alive? You breathing? Like,
so as much as I'm making fun of him, I want you to understand his input for information is so complex. It's so
that's
complex.
very interesting.
Like, you go around.
That's a real
First
friend.
of all,
He
I
really
do
knows
respond
you.
to texts
A day
It's
later.
not- that is also true. Okay. There's no time limit on the text response. Okay?
What?
There's no
No.
clock that goes off when you get a text message. All right.
Your
The
boy
point
Mayhem
is to
Mike,
respond,
I'm hanging up.
All right.
I'm
Thank
hanging
you.
up.
I'm glad no one was bleeding out of a fucking orifice. Like text.
Why are you texting me if you bleed? That's what
Well,
I'm
maybe I
saying.
can't talk, bitch. Like, answer the text message.
Send the voice note. Like, why you send a text? Like,
No. Danny Ocean is the worst. He's the kind of guy you're hiding from a killer in the same room. You're like, yo, bro, help me out. Help, I'm
He
dying.
looks at you like, what the fuck are you talking about?
And then the killer finds you.
Right. Because of him. I told you, we won't be stuck in a zombie apocalypse with your ass. Never. I know. You'd be
got
the
you.
first one to flat leave somebody.
I got
First of
you.
all, if we were in a zombie apocalypse, I just want y'all all to know we gonna make it together.
No, we not, because you're going to leave everybody.
I would never leave y'all.
Nigga, the way you fucking
But if
play.
you fell, if you fell, like,
If
what
you
am I supposed
fell.
to do? What am I supposed to do about that?
Okay.
We're running
I
from
would
zombies and you
never.
fall.
Although
That's
we're going-
obviously fake.
although we're
making
We're
going
a
going
choice.
way left right
Hold on,
now.
no. But let me
So
just say
left.
this last thing, though. I've told Danny Ocean, if in the event, because remember bath salts in Florida, all that thing, if anything, zombies come in, he's going to be definitely one of the people I need a general, okay? I need somebody to talk to these people and help strategize because he's good for that. He's good for finding an exit, okay?
He's good at finding an exit.
Fighting maybe somebody else.
Anyway,
Sorry, we just got distracted. Sorry, Vonna, you were saying about your book.
it's all good. Now, this lovely lady, Tomi Ade, I always say her name wrong. Adeyemi, sorry. She just dropped a book called Children of Blood and Bone. It's going to be a series. Not sure how many books are going to be in the series just yet, but this is the first. And people are already comparing it to what J.K. Rowling has done with her creation of the Hogwarts universe. And everyone's like, well, how can you match that? Hogwarts has been huge. It still is big because we're getting a continuation with prequels now with Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them and Grindelwald and all that stuff. What Tomi has done, she has made a book series based in Africa. Wakanda forever. So... And it's based in Africa, and I think it's in Nigeria, just by the language that she uses. She specifically says Lagos. I'm like, okay, no, that's in Nigeria and a few other places. But this, I can't get a date on it just yet, but I'm pretty sure this is like old, very, very old. I don't really hear much technology being used, and it's all like folklore magic, and you get a nice little rich history background, and it's basically going to be similar to how Harry Potter is a coming of age story at the root of it. This one person is the main character. Her name is Zeli, and she is a magi, one of 10 tribes that have basically been slaughtered to not use their magic anymore, and each tribe has a different power. Her tribe was Reapers, so they can control life and death. And her mother was a magi, very powerful magi, and they killed her. Once you come of age of 13, that's when you start being able to harness your ashe and get your powers. So now she's on a quest to bring back magic, because there was this big slaughter called the Raid that happened about 10, 11 years ago now when she was a child, and it got rid of all the magi that were in power, that had powers. So if it was, now you have a whole bunch of kids. There's literally like preteens and teens now that are left. They're adults now. Yeah. They are able to use their magic, but because magic has been used for so long, they haven't been taught properly. Right. No one really has access to those powers. On the flip side of that, you have the king that's in power, who was part of organizing that raid, and his two children. His two children are involved in it. One of them might possibly be magi on the low, and he doesn't even know it. This fucking book, I've been teary-eyed on the fucking. You know I'm a waterhead anyway, but on the fucking train listening to like, yo, I gotta go to Africa. Like, I gotta find out where I'm from. Like, it's beautifully read. I forget who narrates it, but she has a very beautiful West African accent. I'm gonna be able to trick mad motherfuckers by listening to this book. I got the down everything. I'm so excited. So it's just really good. It's super powerful. I'm almost done with the book. I pretty much listened to it in like less than a week, and it's like a 44-hour book. Nice. It's a long book, like to the point where I'm gonna actually buy the book because I want to be able to feel it and see if there's any like pictures or maps in it too. Yeah. So it's just really good. Oh, and she's already been greenlit for a movie. So, and the book just came out like a few weeks ago.
That sounds dope.
It's super dope.
When I hear stories like that, I always sometimes, you kind of think about if the situation was real.
Facts.
So having not read the book, I want to say I would have also killed all the magic people.
Like I said, exit. The man finds an exit.
I'm just saying, if I'm living in the world and you can conjure shit,
of course,
all I got is my cell phone, you got to go.
The reason for me,
okay, Siri, tell me how to kill.
So also, like, how you watch things, you're like, oh, okay, this has relevance to me now as an adult versus as a kid. Like, when we were kids, we loved Harry Potter because it wasn't anything that we're used to seeing. Because people, oh, Jesus Christ.
He lived underneath the stairs.
Okay, we're not talking about the Dudleys.
Nobody said that. All right,
the Dursleys. We're not talking about those motherfuckers. They were horrible. And they got their just desserts. Everyone knows that. So
took a while, but carry on.
Listen, right. A couple of books. But that's part of life. Like, think about all the life lessons you were taught through a book like that. We were taught to be tolerant of people being different. We were taught to not, to be morally sound. Like, when in the face of real power, what would you choose? Would you choose to be dominant, or would you choose to be, respectful of everyone else's wishes and personal space? This gives me a lot of like little moral, notes in it, especially pertaining to now, because I could see the king right now being a little bit like Donald Trump, because he doesn't want these people that are a direct threat to him in his country. And they're treated, they're slaves. And there's a part in the book that I just passed, and they went way out into the desert trying to find a relic in order to bring magic back. Yeah. And they were using all these children. These are children mostly, mind you. Remember, I told you the raid happened. Anyone that was older than 13 and had their powers was killed. So imagine having an entire race of people just wiped off past the age of 13. So now you're leaving people with babies on this, whatever. Either way, they go to the desert. They're like, yo, why is water so expensive? It costs you a gold piece to get a cup of water. Mind you, they have people in the stocks, which means they're slaves. And they're all magi. And you can tell who a magi is because they all have white hair. So they're like, yo, what the fuck is going on? There's a Coliseum. What the fuck is going on in the Coliseum? These Negroes. This is a spoiler alert for whoever hasn't read the book. This is just one part that fucked me up. they were able to contain all the water. I don't know where they got this water from, but they basically let in all this water and have all these ships into this Coliseum. And it's a fight to the death. Guess who's fighting? The fucking slaves. All the Magi children that were left powerless. That part fucked me up. Imagine you're just sitting in a big ass stadium the size of Yankee Stadium, like, yo, what the fuck about to go on? And all this water just starts rushing in, and people on boats just start rushing in, and it's like, okay, this is what we're fighting for, and you fight for your freedom and a couple of 100,000 coins. Go for it. No one has won. No one has won, and they've been doing this for months, probably. So you're just having a big ass slaughter of Magi children for the fuck of it. And fucking the nobles are coming from far and wide to bet on these fucking games. That shit bugged me the fuck out. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
I'm trying to remember if, because I think that actually happened in real life.
I'm pretty sure, and that's enough. She connects a lot of the stuff that in her book, because she grew up in West Africa, in different parts of West Africa. So this is folklore tied in. This is probably actual history. You know what I'm saying? Like, this might be a thing that's linked into history too. But just the imagery of that, trying to imagine like that happening on the movie, to me, just like blew my mind.
All right, so say the name of the book again and the author.
It is Tomi Adeyemi, and it's Tomiadeyemi, and it's Children of Blood and Bone. I pre-bought the book on my Audible. It's on Audible. It's been on, I think, for the last 3 weeks on New York Times bestseller for children, children and preteens. It's been on that bestsellers list for the past 3 weeks, and yeah, you can't miss it. It's gonna be fucking phenomenal.
You know what I wish, really quickly, because I was gonna talk about how like the correlating human sacrifices, or like, particularly children, are always used to kind of pass a message. You look at certain things like anime, like the Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I was watching that not too long ago. There's so many different things I can go into. Even just with kids, particularly sacrificing them to kind of like clean or thin out the heritage and all this other stuff. But anyway, that sounds dope. I didn't want to go into that because that's a really hot point. Yeah. I missed the Scholastic Book Fair.
Did they still do it?
They still do it?
It's just not.
Let me tell you something.
Because niggas don't read to their kids no more.
Let me tell you how clutch that this is.
Niggas don't read to their kids.
I used to buy books from that book fair.
You know what they buy? You know what little boys and girls buy now? I did. I listen.
I like the cover.
I'm fucking done.
No, let me tell you. All right, so I'm about to tell you. I'm gonna tell you something. Some statute of limitations is probably gone right now. You
used to evict their asses?
So anyway, what I'm going to tell you is this.
Wow. How are you stealing from the other kids, Mike?
First of all, I didn't steal from kids.
You stole from the kids.
I did not steal from
What
the
if
kids.
someone else wanted that damn arrowhead? How about that?
That's up to the city. Okay? The government. So what happened was, I was a big avid reader. Big reader. My dad got me reading at a young age, and because he used to read fast, I used to read fast. So one of the particular books I went through like that was Harry Potter, not the Sorcerer's Stone, the second one. No, I don't know, the second one, whatever. So I remember how.
No,
go ahead.
I'm gonna
the
figure
serpent.
It
out. Something with the serpent.
Wait. Shh. Chamber of Secrets. Okay.
Chamber of Secrets. Right. So.
Shut up.
So if anybody has the hardcover or even a softcover book, it's about as big as it's like 500 plus pages.
Each book got bigger.
Yeah. So
each
it's like
book got fucking bigger. I was like, oh, she's trying to make sure y'all can read everything.
Like a mini dictionary.
Right.
And I used to go through these books in like 2, 3, maybe 4 days, depending on what I had to do. Yeah, because I used to just read it. I was one of those kids. I used to be one of the kids, like, if I'm in a car and I'm reading in between lampposts. Okay, that's just me. So anyway, I developed this skill of sleight of hand at a young age.
Speed reading and sleight of hand.
And what happens was, after I realized in public school and in junior high school and in high school that the books in the back of the class that nobody reads, the textbooks, which had one of my favorite books, the Odyssey, Iliad, Homer, all this other stuff, because I was big into Greek mythology, they ran out. I couldn't read Sherlock Holmes or anything of that nature. Some public libraries got lifted and decided to donate to me some of their books. Michael Crichton, you know what I'm saying? Graphic novels. I gave it back, though. Like, I'm one of those guys, because when I
You
moved
gave
out
it
of my
back
house.
because they put that shit on your credit report.
No, they
That's
didn't.
why.
How? How would
You
they
know,
do-
that happened to me before.
How do
Yeah.
they put that on your credit
No,
report?
your library books are a miscellaneous part of credit reports.
Yes.
Oh, y'all got caught.
No, I forgot about a fucking book. I was like, I don't even
no.
have this book no
I
more.
know
I-
the library notebook. No,
The first book I bought was Animorphs from
Wow.
from
Oh my
was
God.
it J.K.
Animorphs.
K.A. Applegate from the Scholastic Book Fair, Marco, because me and him, Marco and I had a thing, right? They tried to charge me with that, and I showed them my actual book, and I showed the receipt for that, so that's not there. What I'm trying to tell y'all is I am a reformed man, and that the Grand Army Plaza has over 3,000 books. Graphic novels, softback paperbacks, comic books, graphic novels, textbooks as well, which they in Klein gave me a nice tax write-off. So, this was I was all about this reading stuff. I'm just letting you know.
Oh my God. How you
Audiobooks is the new way, right?
He stole the shit and then gave the shit
How
back.
you steal free books?
Wait, and then get a tax credit off of it.
And then donated the shit and got a tax credit.
I sound like a Republican.
You sure fucking do. You sure fucking do.
I can't stand you right now. I can't even like.
Statute of limitations over, bitches.
Found out it's a little far away. Yeah.
Good luck to my
So
kids.
shout out. Listen, we're gonna be talking about a lot more books coming up. Just FYI, they won't be coming from me. But I want to encourage everybody out there to read. I do read, just for the record, in case people are wondering. I read every single day. I read long articles, short articles, but books, not going to happen. Anyway, so we're going to talk about a TV show that we all been fucking with lately. Jessica Jones.
Okay.
Season 2 is out 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago? Anyway, season 2 was out. It was dope. I like it a lot. I love season 1 because if you hadn't seen season 1, this isn't a spoiler alert. What made season 1 for Jessica Jones so real was that her worst enemy was a toxic relationship. And people are just like, how does that work in a superhero show? That sounds like, I'm like,
Sounds
bro,
like everyday woman shit.
give a bad boyfriend some superpowers and watch how creepy and scary this fucking show
Yep.
becomes.
Facts.
Like, so
Domestic
season
violence
2,
too?
Yeah.
season 2 is kind of like building off of what's the repercussions of going through that and how you even just kind of move through the world when you have that sort of trauma in your life that's not related to necessarily war, like with the Punisher, where the Punisher is dealing with PTSD from war.
Right.
Jessica Jones is dealing with like trauma.
Very personal.
Yeah, from
issue.
very personal, emotional trauma. And I thought season 2 was I thought it was a great season. It was interesting to explore. So in season 2, is this a spoiler if I say this?
Yeah, we're spoiling anyway because I'm waiting for you.
Okay, so spoiler alert. In season 2, she meets her mom. And so sometimes when you watch characters like when you watch characters like Jessica Jones, they have like this idealized version of what their life was.
Yeah.
And then in season 2, you realize, oh yeah, that idea was bullshit. Because she kept talking about like how good things were, and her mom was just like, what are you talking about? Me and your dad hate each other.
We used to argue all the time.
Yeah, we used to argue. Like, so in her mind, she had romanticized this period of time, and it's just kind of like, it makes me realize
But
that when
what-
you were kids, like how people romanticize childhood.
That's what
But
the
that's-
human brain does.
that's-
Like, we remember
like,
the good stuff
That's
no matter what.
That's a coping mechanism that people use.
Yeah, especially when you face trauma. Everything before that trauma was super golden, and it's just kind of like, nah, son.
And-
And not only was her parents' life wasn't good, Jessica Jones herself was going through a lot of shit.
Yep,
'Cause
at
her
that
mom
time,
was
too.
talking about like, what are you talking about? You were closed off, didn't have
Emo
any
kid.
friends, like
Didn't
like,
play
your
with
life was
sports.
rough.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was super interesting because it's kind of like, wow, talk about popping a bubble. like you spent like the whole first season just like, how my life would have been different in this car crash. Nah, not really. Sorry to be rude out here, but probably not.
Nah, man. Let me tell you, Jessica Jones season 2 is dope because it builds on the character. Like I said, it pops a lot of bubbles. But more importantly, what I loved about it is just that it showed that she's still human. Because we tend to get lost in superheroes. You know what I'm saying? Like, you look at Spider-Man, we're constantly reminded that could be any one of us dealing with, like, bills and all this other stuff. But then you look at Superman, what's really wrong with his life? You know what I'm saying? Look, what's really wrong with Batman's life except that he's a recluse and he pushes everybody's away. You know what I'm saying? Like,
He got
granted, the
dad
superheroes...
issues. That's what's wrong with Batman life. You need to talk to somebody about his dad.
You know?
Technically, Superman kind of does too.
Yeah, you're right. Superman got some straight daddy issues.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Mom and
Talk
dad,
to
you know.
somebody.
So then, but then they built upon a lot of the characters. Shout out to Malcolm, because Malcolm got himself I felt like Malcolm got himself out of an abusive relationship with Jessica in a sense.
Facts.
Where he was trying to learn and be a better person, and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna do me. I learned what I could. I'm out.
And he stopped smoking crack. Shout
out
to you, brother.
I mean, listen, and you know what they don't talk about? See, I have some people that I know, and I hope you're listening, that feel like getting off drugs is like an easy thing.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like getting off caffeine, getting off
You
cigarettes.
won't get off that nigga's dick and he don't do no good to you.
Jesus Christ.
Just saying.
I feel I was like at somebody. I don't know who you are, but I don't know what you said. That's a rude.
Sir, don't come to our show.
They know who the fuck it is.
Don't come to our show. Don't come to our show. So anyway, I think we know.
like a TI.
So anyway, I think that was dope because here it is. What I wanted to say was getting off an addiction is not as easy as people think it is. Shout out to my dad because he used to smoke, he used to drink a lot, and he actually forced himself. I think he had a little help with the patch, but he was one of those rare people that was able to commit himself to like stop it. Mm-hmm. I have people I know who's like, yeah, I can stop smoking weed, I can stop doing this. Not that I know these people personally who smokes weed because smoking weed is illegal. I might see them passing in the hallway somewhere in the streets. Anyway,
okay,
but it's not that hard. It's easy to see them relapse. And here it is, Malcolm. He was smoking that crack. He stopped smoking that crack, and he took up another vice, which was, taking women down. You know what I'm saying? I can't knock him for it. He was doing his thing. And then he finally decided to get his life together. So I'm interested to see what season 3 holds for him. Shout out to Hogarth because at the end, I'm not going to spoil this, but just know that Hogarth's going through some life difficulty right now, and she gets her revenge, and it is sweet. It is sweet. I love that shit. I love that shit. I love that.
She didn't know we got to respect because
yes.
it was like,
yeah.
You didn't technically do anything, but
right.
You did everything.
Boom. Me and Ocean got into a little bit of an argument. I personally empathize with Jessica's mother because honestly, with the exception of the guy in the truck, I don't think she's a murderer. I think she's a victim of circumstance, like Adam and Eve, entrapment. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how it is. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was experimented on without her consent. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And all these things happen to her. She can't control it. It's not like she's not trying.
Right.
But she can't control it. So here it is. She's trying to build something. But at the same time, how are you going to answer for a crime which you didn't fully commit? I understand neglectful. No, not really. This is something I can't control. You know what I'm saying? Except for the truck. I can't give him that. Trish, the sister, is the epitome of white fucking privilege. And
white privilege or white fragility?
Both. Fuck it. Throw it all in the butt.
Because I'm just saying, I from the first season, I'm like, oh, she's like.
But look at what she did, and then look what she gets at the end. Oh, you didn't watch the end?
I didn't watch the end. I'm gonna watch it.
What I will say about
you watched the end.
Yeah.
Okay.
What I will say about Trish is that she's an example of just because you've known someone your whole life doesn't mean your relationship isn't toxic.
Because I can contest to that.
Because in season 2, that's like kind of the thread that keeps replaying itself. Like you two have some serious
issues,
like with your relationship, because you both encouraged your worst habits in each other, and no one seems to be like cognizant of this fact.
Okay, let me take it back. Let me not even make it about a race. Trish is a very toxic person for sure. She's also a classic example of people who think they know what's better for you, for sure. Because what she does at the end will have you like. Shout out to her as the actor because she made me believe she's Trish. Not enough to write like the mess, like a pen or letter or whatever, but it's made me enough to hate her and then realize this is just a show. This is just the story.
She is not really that person, right?
And you haven't seen it fully, right? What episode? You like the second to last episode?
Nope.
Oh.
It's okay. I'm okay with...
No. Because what she does...
I can listen, like, you seem like you 10 types of type, so I can only imagine.
Like, I'm this close to clapping my hands. Like,
I know. Like, I see the hands forming right now.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's all you. I'm done.
Okay.
Nah, it's... I don't know. So, Jessica... I always say that in Marvel series, the greatest villains are not people, but concepts. Mm-hmm. And it seems that Jessica Jones is a person that just battles for stability. Like, toxicity is just an everyday part of her life in a way that is very relatable because we all know people that are surrounded, not only make poor choices, but are surrounded by poor choices.
Other people that make poor...
Because it's like people make it seem that like... So, for example, Jessica Jones is a great example of... It's not that she only makes poor choices, but like her life, as it's currently set up, is designed to foster and encourage that.
Exactly, a shit ton of poor choices.
Right. There's always another opportunity to go right back down that rabbit hole.
And not for nothing, they made it seem like very normal, like very casual. Like this was a casual thing, not just for her, for people to deal with. You know, yeah, you can say, hey, it's part of being in New York. No, there are people in other states and other places that deal with this consistently. And now that you said it, I'm like thinking about it, I'm like, holy crap. Like, I was okay with it. You know, this is not something to necessarily be okay with.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to say.
It's a dope show. I strongly encourage you to watch season 2. If you like season 1, watch season 2. If you didn't like season 1, all right, that's choice 2.
I think
don't watch season 2. That's cool.
I think it's interesting, like, just from listening. I know I'm like so slow on the come up with watching this, but I work a lot. But I think it's interesting how you guys are describing the progression of season 2 and then all the different, you know, nuances and different things that are being highlighted, and then comparing that to the fact that it's been directed by all females. Yeah. So I think that's an interesting correlation to make. Because as females, it's one of those things that we understand each other without having to really say anything to each other. Because we've almost all been through a similar situation. Might not be the exact same circumstances, but the feeling, the after effects, we can relate to each other. So I think the way they conveyed it through the series has been really effective, because you guys are like, this is some bullshit. I'd be like, yeah. Welcome.
I'm not even gonna lie, the promo that they did with her at the support group, the anger management group, is so much more impactful than when you watch it, because by the time you get to it, the build up is like, damn. And I'm still mad at the end scene. When I'm telling you, Trish, what she does at the end, and you watch it again, he's just like, yo, this woman has been through some stuff.
By the end, you realize that even though Trish is supposed to be the stable one in the relationship, she's not. She's just as toxic as the start of the relationship.
As the mother.
Well, and just as toxic. No,
and the mother is actually one step above Trish.
Now, the mother is a psychopath.
No.
She looked like she was 7.
But think what Trish did. Would the mother have done that?
Yeah.
Nah, I don't think the mother would have.
Yeah, to protect Trish, she would have.
Okay, that's fine. But this is Jess. Damn it, Jess towards Jess. Anyway, you gotta finish it.
The plot thickens.
I want to throw in one more Black Nerd update, unless you guys have anything else you want to throw in.
Yes, Cloak and Dagger. I'm looking forward to seeing June's ABC Family. June 7th is coming out. So Cloak and Dagger, they're classified as superheroes, but they're really like anti-heroes. It's a black guy who like puts people in his cloak or whatever, and they like face whatever reckoning, and they generally end up like broken or dead, pretty much. And Dagger's the light, and he can kind of use his cloak to like travel, like teleport, and all this other stuff. She's the only one that can kind of go in with him. I forgot the exact story, but she can kind of like travel with him without being her, because she's actually like made of like light, like pure light. Dagger, that's her name. So I think the series right now, the approach that they're taking on it is like they get their powers the way they get their powers, through a freakish accent or whatever, and they kind of dealing with that problem along with dealing with like other stuff, as well as trying to fight crime. And Cloak and Dagger has always been kind of like this heavy conscious kind of comic from what I remember, but it hasn't been very popular. So I'm interested in seeing how that's gonna like honestly emerge. It's gonna be an ABC Family. June 7th is supposed to premiere.
A movie or
no series? Series. Did I say movie?
No, I was asking because it popped up like it might have been a movie.
I have
concept.
One more recommendation for Netflix. Mm-hmm. It's a TV show called On My Block, and it's about these 5 kids of color, and it's just about what I love about the show that I really appreciate it, because I'm like, I always wanted to make this show. It's about a story about 5 kids growing up in the hood, but the hood isn't the point of the story.
Yep.
Like, the hood just happens to be where they are, but the point of the story is all those adventure movies that you've always seen as a kid, and you always wonder, why can't we have one of those? Like, God, why we gotta have an after-school special? Why we gotta be yelling Ricky in slow motion? Shit. Anywho.
Oh, shit.
These 4 kids, like, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Oh, shit.
It's definitely... all right, so
hood things happen, but the point of the show is more about them coming to terms with like young adulthood and the realities of that they'll have to face individually.
Yep.
Yeah, so I thought that was just a really dope show.
I'm not gonna say it's like
it's not
Oscar worthy. I won't put it like that.
You know what? I couldn't stay away.
I couldn't stay away. Yeah.
I think I'm like 7 episodes in, straight up.
It's a pretty entertaining show.
Yeah,
that sounds entertaining. Oh, it's a Cloak and Dagger is Marvel.
Yeah. God. If
Oh,
Marvel
people
was
gonna
its
be
own stock,
people gonna be in their
Jesus.
bag because it's a white woman and a black guy. Lord,
That's
Jesus.
another thing. I'm waiting to see how they approach that.
Lord. Approach it, nigga. It's a black guy and a white girl. Like I see the cast right here.
No.
It's a live
I mean,
action
I'm talking about the story
The hot
altogether and
takes
how
are
they
already
handle.
incoming. If it's a good show, the hot takes are going to write
Oh
themselves.
my goodness!
Why? A black man
Oh,
with
the guy that's
powers.
playing
Gotta
Cloak
be the dark.
he's handsome. He's a baby.
Oh,
He was
one
about
thing before we move on to
14.
Black Nerd Update. Watch Black Lightning. Watch Black Lightning. Dope
Yo,
show. Watch
Black
Anyway.
Lightning has been amazing. So good.
All right, so we're going to get into the news. Or as I like to call it these days, the fuckery.
Duh.
So recently, I mean, there's no way we're going to start with the big story. There was some terrorist bombings happened a few weeks ago.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
a week?
A week
2
ago?
weeks?
I don't even know it.
It started. I feel like it started like the week we came right off of our last episode.
It did.
Probably.
It's like that fucking next day. It was like, oh, here comes some fuckery.
There were
Here
somebody
comes some
was
new
bombing
fuckery for your
people
ear.
in and around the Austin area. 2 people were killed. It was targeting primarily black people, which
Yep.
for some
And
reason
Hispanic.
the news doesn't.
A woman.
People of color, yeah.
Yeah.
It was targeted primarily people of color. There was one kid I know. He got killed. He was one of those superstar sort of kids that you meet. Could play instruments.
He was a
Baseball.
well loved.
celloist.
Yeah, was
He
going to
a
go to
cellist.
college on scholarship. All that stuff. And
17.
they had a shootout with the guy Mark Anthony Condit, and he died in the shootout because he blew himself
He
up.
blew himself up.
And here's the crazy part: he sent bombs out to people, blew them up and killed them. Died in a shootout where he blew himself up, and no one wants to call him a terrorist. They're like, "Oh, we don't know the motive." He was part of a white nationalist group. He wrote multiple articles about white nationalist things like hating gays, interracial.
He gave an
marriage,
unapologetic letter. Remember that video? Yeah, I'm sorry. You're right.
But for some reason,
They refused to put the word
His-
terrorist on as a description for him.
Okay, can I just say this? Right?
Yeah.
If any of the times that America decides to call anybody a terrorist with a fucking bomb, right?
Yeah.
Why not now? He literally bombs people.
Because he's white. That's
Oh,
why.
okay.
No. Hold up. I'm going to read what the New York Times articles talked about.
Oh,
He was
boy.
just a shy, nerdy kid. He was just a kid next door. Yeah, who gives a fuck? He blew people
Can I-
up. Even if he had mental illness, that doesn't change the fact that what he did was an act of terrorism.
And yet again,
And it was politically motivated, more than likely, according to his own
Did you hear
fucking
that- what
words.
that-
It's so insane that we can't call this man a terrorist.
Can we talk about the FBI director on how just really quickly, the FBI director talked about how his men charged at the kid, with the guns drawn or whatever, and the car blew up, and he was like, "That's an act of courage." Like, first of all, y'all didn't even know the bomb was there.
You just said what?
Act of courage. Yeah, act of courage, because you went after this kid that was blowing people up. It was a shootout, supposedly, whatever.
Wait.
They
The
did-
act
the
of
cra-
courage on the cops' part?
Yes. He wasn't
Yes,
talking about the kid.
when I read it, I thought he meant act of courage for the kid going back to the van too. Anyway, first of all, it's supposedly a shootout, but nowhere does it say the kid shot the gun. What gun did he use? That's one. Two, second of all, they were running toward the Jeep or whatever that he had, right? Because he was running back. They didn't know the fucking bomb was there.
Yeah, well, how the fuck would you know?
How is that an act of courage
First of all,
until after it blows up?
He didn't anticipate getting caught, clearly. Or
Oh.
if he did,
So let's talk about the delivery method.
exactly.
So up until I believe the third bombing, which was the Hispanic mother who was hurt in injuries, and then supposedly he bombed 2 other people of European descent. Then he started using couriers. They found one. I don't think they said who. So I'm gonna say FedEx. Fuck it. They found
one blew up in a FedEx facility.
One blew up at the FedEx facility, and then the other one, it was reported, and they quote unquote dismantled it and stopped it in time. That's where they got his picture because he was wearing
A wig and gloves.
a pig wig and gloves. And then they went.
Wait.
looking for him.
He walked in with
Hold
the bombs,
on.
and he had like a blonde wig and gloves. And like glasses
Two
on,
packages in his
disguised
hand.
himself.
Yeah. So imagine that nobody's
what I
on the lookout for him because the way he was delivering, he was actually going to these people's house and leaving.
Incognito.
Incognito. He didn't look right in the head. If somebody
No.
walked in with packages dressed like that, I'm like, excuse me, FBI. This nigga crazy.
And it's not like he walked there first. This was after at least 3 bombings.
You're right.
Right. Okay. Okay.
It's so yeah. Oh my god. And it's the best part about the fact that they refused to call him a terrorist. It was that all the media outlets that are supposedly liberal were the ones that were taking part. National Public Radio didn't call him a terrorist. The New York Times didn't call him a terrorist. Washington Post didn't call him a terrorist. And I'm thinking to myself, how many times were they quick to call anybody else a terrorist that did anything like the guy that shot up the Orlando nightclub before they even verified him doing anything?
Exactly.
He was Muslim, clubs were gay, and he's a terrorist. I'm like, no one's going to argue there, but this guy's actually blowing people. He, in the words of a Muslim imam on Twitter, he's like, he died in a suicide bombing, and we still can't call him a terrorist.
If that ain't
jihad,
that's jihad, right? That's jihad, right? Technically, like, what the fuck?
Oh.
I couldn't believe it, son.
But Black Lives Matter is a terrorist group. We haven't killed anybody, have we?
Haven't killed a goddamn person.
Oh, okay.
Right.
We haven't hurt anybody, have we?
Nope.
This gentleman is part of a problem that no one in America talks about, which is the radicalization of white men through online forums. And everyone, there's a. If you Google it, there's a billion stories in the media about how young Muslim men around the world get radicalized through YouTube videos and Twitter and all that stuff. There are hundreds of white men that are getting radicalized the same way. The Austin bomber is just another person in a long list of people that get radicalized this way. Like the Parkland shooter was also part of a Christian militia group that was preaching white supremacy. There was a kid that murdered his gay classmate who was part of a secret white militia group whose 3 of its members had committed acts of domestic terrorism, targeting people that they talked about in online forums. But there's actually, here's a funny thing. There's actually no technical definition of domestic terrorism. Because
because the domestic terrorism is only carried out by who?
No, you're absolutely right.
The bullshit. The last time a person of color, before the whole thing in Orlando was like the DC shooter? And that was a black guy. Did they call him a terrorist? I need fucking receipts.
That was a serial killer.
That was a Black Lives Matter terrorist at first. Remember, they called him a terrorist, but they put BLM in front of it.
No, you're talking about the
sniper.
sniper.
They didn't. I'm talking about the DC sniper.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking about the other guy. I'm thinking about the other guy.
I'm like, damn, you just can't Black Lives Matter.
I'm ready to throw the name on everything.
But that was listen.
No, but
he wasn't a terrorist. He was a serial killer.
No, he was
straight up. My son used to lay down in the back of his car. Peep through the peephole with the sniper. That was a serial killer. Like, just shooting cats doing their fucking
and they couldn't
lawn.
find him.
Just damn. That's it. Like, anyway, but no, it's insane to me that not only does the white radicalism not get addressed, the resources have been taken away. Like Jeff Sessions, one of the first things he did when he came into his job was to divert everybody who was fighting domestic terrorism and white nationalist groups away from that job.
Yep.
That's literally one of the first things. He actually cut funding from a program that worked to deprogram white nationalists and white racists and welcome them back into society as non-hate-filled members. So all of this stuff happening is not out of a vacuum.
Wait. Welcome them back into society as
Well, people do that. There's programs that do that for all sides. Because when you become a white nationalist on that level, it's not
when you choose to not give a fuck about anyone else besides white people.
It's the same thing as being a gang member.
You don't get to be no, motherfucker, no. No. Wait, hold on.
Go ahead.
Most people that join gangs, why do they join gangs?
Sense of self.
No.
That's all the same.
No.
Just get your point. I'm like, how are you being rehabilitated to not hate people? Like, I understand the point of that, but like there's a certain echelon that you cross, it's just like, you need to be locked the fuck up because you're a fucking danger to society. Most people that are in gangs, that shit starts from them having no guidance or being bullied and pressured into being in gangs, because most gangs are affiliated with drugs, and that is the perpetual cycle of that. I understand the rehabilitation of that. I don't give a fuck about you not liking people. What I need you to do is give a fuck about not killing motherfuckers. Because if you don't like me, okay, just don't touch me, bitch. I'll fuck you up. Like, I don't understand that shit. That's a bunch of bullshit. No, I will take claim because I use gangs as the wrong word. But anyone who was involved in a radical political organization, there's deprogramming programs, because when you join...
Is there waterboarding involved in that?
No, when you join... No, it's not I think you're... Okay.
Send in the sniper monkeys.
No, you're doing it because it's white nationalists. But when you're part of radical, hardline political ideology like that, part of what happens to you to be included in some of those groups is a brainwashing.
Yes.
So for you to be part of regular society again, you actually have to go through programs where you have to be literally deprogrammed. And there's programs that exist like that, not only for white nationalists.
No, I understand
for people who are part of religious cults as well are part of that. There's programs like that for people who are once part of terrorist organizations like Al-Qaeda and all those other sorts of groups. And there's people
I feel like
so it's
there's
not
religious cults. Jesus loves everybody, bro. Come on.
No, I bet religious cults like the Jim Jones cult, for example.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like the ones that did the mass suicide. So the deprogramming is an actual effective way. They even work with groups like Northern Ireland. So like with the IRA.
No, I know what you mean.
No, my point being is those are necessary programs if you want to move forward because you can't kill everybody.
I'm not saying to kill the asses. Just
no, I'm saying you can't. Like they have to,
those are the niggas we need to worry about a wall with. I'm just saying,
them
put them on the other side of that wall, whatever wall that's supposed to be fucking built. That's where they can go.
But my point being is though that
Be some Con Air shit.
All the ways to address it are not only not highlighted, they're being defunded and attacked. So more of these instances are going to grow. And to the FBI, I'm not going to say credit because I don't want to give them credit. To former FBI agents are actually advocating for a clearer definition of domestic terrorism. Because here's the funny thing about domestic terrorism. You know who are the people that tend to get killed when domestic terrorists attack?
Who?
Federal agents.
Oh.
So federal agents, they're one of the people that's like, no, this is domestic terrorism because they know when those guys go crazy,
they're the front
the
line.
ones that get targeted. So
they're the front line. Like, we gonna fuck with the FBI today. Like, nigga, I gotta go home to eat my steak. Like, what the fuck?
So
I got things to live for. Shit, I want that ribeye tonight. God damn it.
A lot of former FBI agents actually pushing for a clear definition of domestic terrorism for incidents like these. So when this stuff happens, everyone can be clear about, no, this isn't some regular ass crime. That dude's a terrorist. Let's call him what he is.
Oh boy.
Anyway,
it's so crazy how a definition of something
can
just completely be a clusterfuck.
People say you shouldn't speak ill of dead, but fuck that dude. I don't like.
Fuck that bitch.
I'm sorry, like
fuck that bitch.
Like you blew people up, you died a bitch, you lived a bitch. I don't know what else I need to say. I can't tolerate this shit anymore. Like
no, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
It's too much work. It's too much work. I give
that
up.
sound was Danny just throwing his fucks away. That sound you just heard was all the fucks releasing from his
crazy? People say like hate doesn't help a situation. Like I'm not.
I don't hate.
I'm saying fuck him.
Right.
You know what?
The lack of fucks we have, guys.
Amongst all the things
we're depleted.
that I think that I can think of as a solution, which aren't necessarily morally right. There's a law where, like, if you have a gun in your house and it's loaded, whether or not it's registered, if your kid takes it and shoots somebody else,
you're liable.
The parent, you're liable, right? Why can't we do it for this instance? Why not make whoever isn't, you know what I'm saying? Make other people to pay attention to their kids and shit like that.
First of all, y'all letting little fucking Billy Tom and all these fucking motherfuckers just buy,
here's
acid?
my setback.
Like, so you're letting your kid just order this shit?
Right.
You're not going through? Like, my mother wouldn't let me open my own mail without her being right in front.
Listen.
What's that?
Couple of episodes.
What's that? Who are you getting that from? What is that? I don't understand.
Couple
What's
of
going
episodes
on?
ago, we talked about me having my own screen name that was watched by
Facts.
my parents, okay?
That's what I'm saying.
Now, I think this is a great idea. The problem with that is they're going to take it too far. And guess who they're going to come after? For first, you know what I'm saying? For jaywalking, for not being in school, you know what I'm saying? For joining a gang, shit like that.
If people was less worried about the shit that happened,
they need an enemy.
You know what? They do, but guess what? The enemy is the people who are making the fucking laws. Because you're making the shit that's more... It's gonna hurt people in inner cities and urban areas, but y'all the motherfuckers in the burbs and shit that are acting real fucking dumb. Guess what? I don't understand. It's like, we're going to put all these metal detectors in the urban communities because there's so much violence. Okay. When's the last time you heard of a urban community school getting shot up?
The whole school.
The whole school. Not a targeted situation.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Are we back to this argument again?
Yes, we are. Because I brought it up all the time.
It
is a terrible argument, but this is the bullshit that they've made. Like, I remember going across. Where was it? I went to school in Upper West Side. My elementary school was right across the street from Brandeis. Everyone remembers how crazy Brandeis was back in the day. Probably still is a little bit crazy. So my mother used to be like, "Oh, they have metal detectors." I'm like, "Why do they have metal detectors?" Like, I don't have a metal detector. She was like, well, older kids sometimes bring weapons to school. I'm like,
they still got the weapons in.
Why do they bring weapons to school? And then we got into the whole thing of like bullying and gangs. And I'm like, that sounds dumb.
Little did you know.
Right. But like, and even when I did go to high school, I didn't have that problem still. But, we saw more of the school safety guards and all that stuff. I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, I understand, like, we're of age, so fuck you up. We might be bigger than you, Miss Tony. Like, don't fuck with me.
Yo, we're gonna beat that out.
I'm just saying.
Boop, Miss Boop.
No, I was a fictitious person.
Oh, okay.
I thought you still had beef with Miss Tony.
No.
We know you fly loose. You Wild Wild West with the names. You Wild Wild West with the names. Pachoo, pachoo. Somebody with a capital T.
That's saying Craig a 138, you bitch ass nigga.
The motherfucker that sold me fish at the supermarket on 79th. My last waiter.
Oh my God. Anywho, yeah, I didn't have those problems in high school. I know you guys had a rough high school or interesting high school experience, but I just think it's interesting how the laws that affect us the most are now affecting them now, because we've seen the shift of like, oh, all urban schools are like dangerous minds. Like, think about it. How many people really thought like that's how urban schools were? Yeah. And Michelle Pfeiffer's lily white ass had to come in with her 2 fucking Tybo moves to put people in place. Bitch, stop it. Like, listen, that was not realistic. That was not realistic. Stop.
No, but you're absolutely right.
Gangsta's paradise.
It's it's a strange moment for me. Because it's like, as we talked about this so many times on the show, me and Mayhem went to a rough school. By the way, there were school shootings during our era. I want to assure you, we never worried about that.
Yeah,
I was
because they
listen.
If somebody's gonna bring it to the level of getting a gun to shoot you, they're not doing it in school because the charges go up. That's number one.
Yeah.
Right.
And number 2, the level of security, you're getting caught
before.
Yeah. No, listen. I'll give you a great example. Our school, there is a particular hallway, which is by the teams.
We used to call it Broadway?
Yeah, it was around Broadway. So there's a particular hallway which everybody got everything in. Like, it was like the Panama Canal. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh my God.
We got everything in, from like weapons to all types of stuff. I want to go into it. We had a friend. No, I won't say a friend. Friend is a very loose term.
Associate?
Yeah, we had a classmate.
Okay.
We had a classmate who literally used to hide a razor blade in his gums. So,
that was a thing. That was back. Yeah, that was a thing.
So
actually.
you hear about it.
If
it's Vaseline.
Hope you're doing well, man. What's up?
What's up, man? Hope you doing good.
Shout out to you.
Literally,
hope you're still shitting all right.
Like, he pulled it out. Like, yeah, I got it. Boom. He was like, holy crap. I was like, so imagine a metal detector. What's that gonna stop? But yet, did anybody get stabbed that day? I don't think anybody got sliced that day. No. So you know what I'm saying?
That day.
Any beef that happened was generally outside. If it happened with a weapon, like I told you guys, ice pick. Somebody got stabbed on the corner of our school, outside the school with an ice pick. You know what I'm saying? Guns, I've never heard of anybody getting shot around that area. I'm not doubting it. Mm-hmm. I've heard reports.
Not around school.
But
we do know people that got shot.
Right, but stabbing, all this other stuff, it was mostly, mostly fists. Nobody came to school at 0 period and was like, you know what? I'm tired of these Avenue H. I'm tired of these Brookline, da-da-da-da, whatever. And just pop, let it off. No, nobody does that.
People don't know how to be like good losers anymore. Like across the board, like it's like, oh, you get a prize because you participated. No, bitch, you still sucked.
No, we're not gonna have.
We're not gonna have this
yes,
participation trophy.
Yes, we are.
No, because I think it's such a. Here's why that argument like enrages me to my core. Every time someone talks about the participation trophy, stupid argument. Here's why it pisses me off. Who the fuck was buying the trophies? The same generation complaining about it.
Right.
So when everyone goes, oh, your generation is the participation trophies.
Oh, yeah.
Who
the parents.
Who literally bought the trophies with people
the baby
in
boomers.
Because they won't be like, I won't support it.
So it's like,
right.
it's that moment of like, when someone says to a kid, I can't believe you're so angry. How come you're so angry? And it's like, you have an anger problem.
Because you quelled
you have an
this
anger problem that you projected onto me.
Yep.
Right.
So now you see the same problem you have in me, and I'm to blame. It's like, bruh. Mm-hmm. So that's why that argument is like, if you're going to be critical of a generation, I have no issue with that. But when people make that argument in particular, I'm just like, the kids didn't organize those soccer games. The kids didn't pay for those uniforms.
You know what it was?
You
know who did it? those losing ass soccer moms. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo.
Oh, don't even do it. It's not just on the moms. It's on the dads too. Because you know damn
no.
a dad be in they fucking
when I said it.
If they fucking kid don't get no play for the day.
You know what?
Like, yo, Billy, you better talk with your chest. Like, tell me put you in the game right the fuck down. You better make a play before I get
those
the
fathers lost their balls when they drive that little van and all the little soccer kids and the mom was like, you need to talk to them. But lost your balls, man. There's no such thing. Participation trophies are
the downward spiral of the fucked upness of America. All becomes because people got trophies that didn't do shit. That's why.
The whole point.
That's how we got here, Danny.
The whole point of getting a trophy is because you.
I hate that argument so much.
I know.
It boils my blood. I hate it so much. You can be critical of another generation. I don't care. But that argument in particular is just like.
I'm not saying it's a generation. I mean, I don't think it's a generational issue.
Sorry,
I think it's. I don't know.
But it's actually a good segue, though. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah.
But what we're talking about is actually a great segue for what's happening. The March for Our Lives was this weekend.
Yes.
Shout out to all the kids from Parkland, all the other organizers.
Fuck Killer Mike.
Okay.
I'm sorry, were we not on that? Oh.
We on that.
You're not invited to the cookout, bro. I hope you're listening.
No more ribs.
And you know what?
Bro.
You know what? Let's be real. I never liked you as a rapper. I don't know what you said. No. Let's be real. Somebody.
Hold up.
No.
Fire
No.
All day I dream about.
What? Okay, name a verse. Give me a couple of bars. Oh, okay.
He was on
okay, it's quiet for you. It's quiet. Okay, name me a couple bars.
I don't.
It's quiet for you as well.
Keep coming like Randy Moss. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Quiet for you.
I'll cast rap too.
No. We can come back to it and I'll tell you why.
Oh, okay.
But I wanted to shout out the Parkland kids.
Quiet ass nigga.
Because again, it's really, first of all, this is not the first time in American history that a civil rights movement been led by kids. I'd encourage you to watch a PBS special called The Children's March, when there's literally children marching against discrimination in the South in the civil rights era. And it's one of the things that shocked the nation when you see like elementary school kids getting hit with the hose.
Yeah.
So they're not going to obviously hit these kids with the hose because they're white. Let's be blunt about that.
The majority.
And they learned their lesson.
But what they will do is slander these kids' names.
Like the NRA has been.
Like Emma?
There's a fake photo going around of Emma Gonzalez, one of the most visible voices.
Yeah, the one with that had the shaved head,
and showing her ripping up the Constitution, which is not even a real photo. It was a picture from Vanity Fair where she was ripping up a target, like a physical target,
and someone superimposing.
Yeah, so there's some adult out here that's out here passing around fake gossip about a child. I just want you to know, you's a ho, whoever you are that edited that photo. You got, obviously, your life is worth nothing if that's what you're going to do with your day. And they're projected. There's so many conspiracy theories that are being pushed out. And the madder the right gets about these marches, the more effective I know they're being. Because you wouldn't be this angry. You wouldn't
have so much to fucking say
if you weren't threatened. Oh, by the way, there's this black dude on NRA TV. I don't know your name, you piece of shit.
Oh, the host.
He was like, he literally said he said if it wasn't for the shooting, nobody would know your name.
That?
He didn't say that exactly. He said he wishes that there's another shooting in which a school resource officer confronted the shooter. And he said he wishes that officer was present at Parkland to stop the shooting so he wouldn't know any of these kids' names. Basically implying that, so they wouldn't, because he thinks they're media puppets.
Right.
As someone who was a pretty politically active and engaged kid who actually lobbied people in Congress, just because you were stupid as a child
doesn't mean that I'm going to be just as dumb.
Judge me by your academic deficiencies.
Exactly.
Okay, don't judge these kids by these academic. Anyway, I want to shout them out because this march was a global event, which made me sad. You know why it made me sad? Because we in America grew up watching commercials about feed the children. And now we're on the other end of that commercial.
I'm done.
Think about it. You too can help a child in America go to school safe. Because that's basically what's happening in around the world. This is a very American issue. This is nowhere else in the world.
Right.
So if this issue is affecting people so much that they're organizing marches around the world, it's like, damn, we a charity case. Holy shit. Like, this is a weird feeling for us to even need to get to this moment.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the speakers. There's mostly young speakers. Shout out to them, even though the media keeps highlighting particularly the white students.
No, well, I guess because I have a lot of black media stuff.
No,
my stuff.
No, the media. The mainstream media is highlighting a lot of white students. Shout out to the actual students themselves for highlighting a multitude of voices in the march itself.
Yes,
and even when they're talking about the issues, I forgot his full name, but there's this kid named Hogg from Parkland who always talks about the fact that black students have been talking about gun violence issues for years.
Yep.
You're only listening now because it's someone looks like me, I'm just like, yeah, shut up to you, brother. Hey, your teacher, everybody that fuck with you. Y'all good. Y'all want to play? Anyway.
So,
I was just really moved by all these events. I know that there's going to be serious change when it comes to guns. My only fear, because I'm very paranoid about this, gun violence is an issue that actually predominantly affects black and brown communities. Let's be blunt about this, right? So any major law that passes needs to have those people sitting at the table. Yep. If it comes down to a situation where people are passing laws addressing gun violence and it's only really targeting incidents that happen in the suburbs, I assure you that's going to result in more of us going to jail. Every time issues like this get resolved, it always ends up with more of us going to jail. So this is not looking like a situation where people like us are sitting on the sidelines. So whatever gets passed, whatever change gets passed, I hope that black and brown people are at the table. And I also hope that none of you dumbasses put forth money to fund teachers with guns. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Okay.
Y'all know the type of teachers I had. You don't even want to pull out on me at this point.
I'm stepping in.
You ain't got your homework, Danny? Oh, god damn.
Which
the guy that shot himself.
We've already had since.
And he was a cop.
Oh my fucking
Yes,
God.
he was a cop and he shot himself in class. How crazy is that? You turning him into regular teachers? Oh my god.
So I'm gonna piggyback off the teachers.
Jesus.
Instead of making better gun laws, they've gone two great solutions. Number one is give kids rocks to throw at the shooter. All right. We were talking about the black nerd of
That
being
way
superheroes.
you can also
what's faster than a
send
speeding
them
bullet?
The vengeful shame while you pelt them with rocks.
Apparently,
Like, what the
a
fuck?
smoothed out pebble is faster than an automatic rifle. Right. The second thing, of course, is what was the other thing?
CPR?
Yes, you're going to try to resuscitate your bullet-ridden friend. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so shout out to Emma Gonzalez, who's 16, and you know what? Like, I like kids finding their voice as an activist. You know what I'm saying? To see what they go through, because that's kind of like what we did with our program. We all found our voice. We go, but the instance in which she has to do it is so fucked up.
It's fucked up.
It's so fucked up. Like, she shaved her head. That's a thing that she has. You know what I'm saying? That's
You know, the shooting was only like 6 weeks ago.
yeah.
Like, they lost their friends like barely over a month
And
ago.
they've been fucking moving.
Right.
Yeah.
They've been
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
moving.
off.
Right. No problem. And I only brought that up because her mom was like, no matter what, you look at this girl, she's still a 16-year-old girl going through stuff. And I was like, you know what?
It's like, never mind, like, you just lost your best
Right.
friends and shit.
So she's
puberty.
dealing with that. But imagine
like
that it
everything
takes
else.
And she's just one of the few.
One of the few.
Who's moving this movement. But imagine what she had to go through. Shout out to her for putting that NRA spokeswoman, Dana, bitch ass woman, in her place, because when asked her question, she said, hold on, that I want you to know we will support your two children in a way that you will not. To tell an NRA woman, spokeswoman, that, applaud to you, woman. Applaud to you, 16-year-old girl. Back to Killer Mike, because I'm not done with this bitch ass. Killer Mike was trending on Twitter today. I'm not trying to take away, but I'm just trying to transition to Killer Mike.
This relates.
It relates directly because people be like, "Oh, y'all sound real biased." No, everyone,
I am biased. I
everyone
don't need
can
to
catch
pretend
these
like-
flames.
No, I am biased. Fuck that.
We're
Killer Mike,
biased
I claim it.
to an extent,
I'm biased towards logic.
Killer Mike.
right?
Killer Mike, you can add me YFR Mayhem on Twitter. Mayhem Mike says you are no longer invited to the cookout.
Nope.
You will not receive an invite to the cookout.
No
Do not
more
bring any
ribs.
food. If you happen
Don't
to know what
bring
a
the
nigga,
charcoal. We got
We
it.
pushing you back, and it's
We
not
don't need
because
your Coronas.
it's not because you want to endorse gun rights. It's what you said about it. Let's go into what you said about it. So first of all, you told your kids that they should make up their mind. They shouldn't follow what's going on or whatever. But you also told them, right, that if they were to walk out the classroom, to pretty much walk out your house, which makes no sense. Bro, you gotta let your kids.
That is the atmos. That's like, what is
Can I
like,
quote Kanye? Oh, Kanye's not back. I don't care what anybody says. He still has the golden hair, so he's not back. Dye that hair back, bro. Listen to the kids, bro. Okay. Listen to the kids. So he first of all, Killer Mike was on NRA TV. That should blow your mind as it is. NRA has a television channel, okay? Has a television channel, even if it's on the web, whatever. And him and this other black host are going back and forth as if they're making great points about how, trying to change gun laws is going to take away from your Constitution to own an actual gun, and they're going to rearrange the Constitution against you. Bruh, you're black.
Who said that?
It's already against you. Did you not know that?
Duh.
Oh, you talk about guns. Oh, okay. All right, send in the sniper monkeys. I'm sorry. And then on top of that, and everybody knows him right now if you're on Twitter because it's trending. He also said that Wakanda also had guns. I want to know what
That's
movie.
when Black Twitter lost their shit.
I want to know what movie.
I
Listen. For those that watch the African movies at the hair salon, okay, and sometimes I know that they released a movie series called Wakanda, okay, but I'm pretty sure they don't have guns like that. And if it is, then he watched the wrong Wakanda because the movie's called Black Panther, not Wakanda. In the movie Black Panther,
you refer to
the head of Dora Milaje literally said, "Guns are so primitive." Oh, okay.
I don't understand.
Okay.
Here's my thing.
Killer Mike, kill yourself. Oh, once again, anybody have any lyrics for me for Killer Mike? You're a great backup dancer. That's what you are. You're a great backup dancer. You're a great vocalist, backup vocalist.
His greatest career success has been with Run the Jewels. But it is. But here's my thing about the Killer Mike interview that blows my mind. He's always been pro-gun. I know black people currently that are pro-gun. That is not some jarring thing to do, right?
There's nothing wrong with being pro-gun. But we have to also be, let's put restrictions on guns so that way minors, people with mental issues, and fucking extremists don't have an extreme access to them. We're not saying there's nothing wrong with having a gun. That is your right through the amendment. Which amendment?
You know what he didn't talk about?
Second Amendment right.
He doesn't talk about how black people don't get as much access to guns as, I don't know, the white people.
Exactly.
No, it's not even that. Here's my serious objection to him appearing on NRA TV specifically. The National Rifle Association is a death cult, and I say that not using hyperbole because it doesn't represent actual gun owners.
Nope.
It represents gun manufacturers
and sales.
So the only thing the NRA exists
Cut
to
the
do...
check.
The only thing the NRA exists to do is to sell more guns, period. That's their only mission in life. It's their only goal, right? Mm-hmm. Here's why I say it's also a death cult. Philando Castile was a registered gun owner. When he was murdered by that cop on Facebook Live. And I'm going to say the word murdered because when you shoot somebody that's not committing a crime, that's murder.
It is murder.
You may have gotten away with it, but you're still a murderer for the rest of your life. Right. Right? Where is the NRA comment on a registered, law-abiding citizen getting murdered for exercising Second Amendment rights? They had none. When another shooting happened in Cleveland, a gentleman was gunned down for possessing a gun in Ohio, right? Ohio is an open carry state.
Yep.
Having a gun is not a crime, even if you just see it on... So when the cop showed up and just shot him down, he wasn't breaking the law. NRA, again, had no comment. If you actually watch NRA content, their entire channel is trying to convince white America why they should own a gun because of the scary Mexicans, the evil Muslims, and of course, the blacks, right? They're not going to say the blacks because they have that black host who's a token there to spread his message of... Coonin. I don't know what is coonin.
Coonery. Coon.
I don't use that word often, but when you're part of a white supremacist death cult,
Right.
You're worse than Ben Carson. Like at least Ben Carson knows who he is. You actually think you're working for us. That's the crazy part about it. Like you believe the bullshit. Ben Carson's like, nah, I really hate y'all niggas, but like you believe it, right? So when Killer Mike went on that show to then condemn people on the left and then mock the shooters and then mock gun reforms, I'm like, you're being a contrarian. There's a lot of people that exist in the world today that think because they're taking the opposite of a popular opinion that their opinion is smart.
Or that they're being radical.
Being a contrarian doesn't make you smart or different or radical if your contradictory ideal is stupid.
Yep.
It's like, I'll give you an example. It's contrarian to not believe in climate change. Okay, that doesn't make you smart because it's a real thing. You could not believe in gravity either, but that's a real thing. Like that, nothing changes because you don't believe in it, right?
Flat earthers.
So now Killer Mike is trying to defend himself, trying to make it seem like I engage with all sides. I don't give a fuck what your intentions are. What you actually did was go on a platform that doesn't even represent you as a black gun owner because it doesn't give a fuck about you.
Right.
Has actively worked to disenfranchise people you supposedly said you've advocated for in the past, and then your defense is you're a black revolutionary. Well, why would a black revolutionary associate with a white supremacist death cult? So it's I don't know what the point of this appearance is, but I just want to say this for just like on a final note. You have every right to do whatever the fuck you want in terms of where you choose to express yourself.
But you
That
are
is
no
your
longer
freedom.
invited to this cookout.
I have
Facts.
every right as someone who consumes content to never listen to anything you say again.
Facts.
And you can call my decision, you can categorize my decision however you want to. That's your right again. But I can also categorize your decision however I want to. And that's the beauty of this country. So you chose to associate with the
you
NRA.
chose to do some dumb shit.
That's
I'm going to choose
fine.
to no longer
You're
listen
NRA,
to you.
You're not even Killer Mike anymore. You're NRA Mike now.
Yeah.
Go wear that badge. Hang out with Ted Nugent. Go, I don't know, do whatever the fuck
Charlton
else you need to go
Heston.
do.
Is he still
But
alive?
as far as anytime you need to talk about some shit,
We don't want to hear it.
I'm tuning the fuck out.
Yep.
And
Turn you
FYI,
all
if
the
I'm
way
part
down.
of any organization that moving forward wants to invite Killer Mike to speak about some shit,
I'm out.
Yep.
I'm tuning the fuck out. And you're going to get a little bit of a write-up of like, hey, that's interesting that if you're going to start inviting people that associate with white supremacist death cults, then we might as well just start getting Steve Bannon in this bitch. Because, like, if that's the way we want to ride, then let's just fully join
Right,
the wave. Otherwise,
right.
I don't even understand what's
Just
happening.
commit
Like,
to the wave.
Like, why would you say that? Why the fuck would you say that?
Because he's clearly out of his fucking mind.
He's got to, first of all, Wakanda having guns. This is crazy. First of all,
Is he referring?
I love that's the part that got the most under your skin.
right, which is crazy, right? You talk about a film that big that important. Anyway,
No, I'm not even mad about him talking about why are you referring to a fictitious fucking film? How
And
about that?
accurately,
This
too. That's
is
the
not
crazy part.
even a real place.
I
And
was
then
gonna say that.
inaccurately too,
And he
I'm
didn't do
gonna
it accurately,
refer to
right.
A fictional place inaccurately of all things.
Was he talking about the guns on the ships? The guns that Shuri had?
She didn't have a gun.
What were those blasters? Though I don't know, some shit. Either way, that wasn't a gun. That
If we
wasn't-
were to break it down,
bullets didn't come out of that shit.
Hold on.
This shit was
Hold on. Let's talk about.
Let's get some plasma blasters in this bitch, and then we can have a discussion.
So I feel sorry for his kids.
Yeah,
Because
poor babies.
He's an
We need to
artist.
do- we need to do, like,
and
a
as an
GoFundMe
artist,
to
you
adopt their
understand the
asses.
importance of social media in your career, especially when he was actually rapping to like now. I'm sorry, when I say actually rapping, I mean he was actually worth the name worth knowing back then with Outkast and whatnot. Now Run the Jewels, all right, whatever. So anyway, my whole thing is, why would you come on this platform? First of all, you went on NRA TV. That's a no. Second of all, and you said what you said on that.
Yo, you know his
Like,
kids
we don't
is
got
reading Twitter
receipts from way
yo,
before?
I ain't got no respect for you now, Nick. Fuck out my face.
And you know what? I'm gonna say this now. He could be like, "I'm sorry." The next day,
He's not going to.
Hold on. I'm just saying he can have some. I'm
He
sorry.
could-
The
he
next
could
day,
try to
he
retract
could try
the
to
statement.
retract. He can get anybody with him. All right. He can get. I was about to say something stupid. No. He could have a good leader that we know of say, "Yeah, back him up. You're still a bitch ass, and you're a coon to me, and you don't know how to stay on your fucking 2 feet. You're always following somebody else's order. Because if you thought about this, the shit that you did, you should be apologizing for the next couple of years to come. You should say sorry to every black person you see. Fuck out of here."
It was. Well, I remember when
That's all I got
I
to
saw that
say.
shit on Twitter start trending. I was confused. It said Killer Mike Interactive. It said this had to be a typo. The fuck?
But like, we're asking for gun control. We're not saying take every gun away.
He doesn't
You know what I'm
believe in
saying?
gun control. Period. He doesn't care.
And you know what I'm saying? We're talking about gun control because if you think about it, too much of anything is bad for you.
You can even die from water overdose.
Bruh, water. Like, too much of anything. Obviously, we're giving too many guns away. Like, where there needs to be a limit. Freely. To one particular race in general. I'm sorry. I'm calling the cat what it is. The fucking cat. You know what I'm saying? The fucking pussy. Like, that's what it is. So anyway, with that being said, Killer Mike, like, you dumb. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry for your kids. And I'm not... You know what? When people bring up kids, it gets a little touchy, whatever.
Nah,
I'm not
talking about your kids. I'm talking about you, and we feel
because
bad
it's like
for those babies
because they're gonna wake up and realize the kind of horrible person you are at this time.
Yeah.
Good job. Good fucking job.
I mean, on an unrelated note, he actually encouraged people to not vote last year when Donald Trump was running. But I'm not going to bring that up. That'd be petty.
Yo.
Anywho, moving on. The next story.
I don't believe in voting. My voting's not going to change anything.
Yeah, so now we have a Nazi in office. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike. People like you.
NRA Mike, I see you. You know, again,
Oh
you have
no.
the freedom to express
Well,
yourself.
the election was rigged anyway. Oh, okay.
All right.
Bitch ass.
We're going to move, unfortunately, to...
Cannon fodder.
So, I don't know if folks heard about the Stephen Clark shooting that happened in Sacramento where the young man was killed in his
in
backyard.
his fucking backyard.
Minding his
22
business.
years old.
I actually want to
With a
talk
phone
about
in his hand.
another angle. So, everyone sees how the NFL is still blackballing Colin Kaepernick, right?
Yes.
The reason I bring that up is because the NBA is not the same.
Oh yeah, no.
So, what happened was the protesters in Sacramento actually blocked the entrance
Yes.
of the Sacramento Kings
Yes,
game.
they did.
Because they knew that the media was just going to mention this shit and move on with their lives,
Yep.
right? So the protesters like, nah, you're not going to let... The Sacramento Kings owner actually got on the mic and talked about, hey, I understand why you guys are mad, and we really need to take serious steps to address this.
Mm-hmm.
And he said the Sacramento Kings want to be part of that responsibility to do whatever we need to do to change that. And I was just like, did a multi-billionaire sports owner just side with protesters? That's like, nah, you just saying that shit because you afraid of riot going to start, right? Today, on our way here, the Sacramento Kings played the Boston Celtics, and they actually had Stephon Clark's name on their jerseys and a slogan talking about this is never going to happen again.
Oh,
and
shit.
And they're seeking to organize basically like different programs in the community to address this. And I was just like, yo, this is what happens when black people get money and organize. And I think this is why whenever people talk about LeBron James crazy, this is why.
Yeah.
Because they know that the
It shouldn't happen.
NFL is a right-wing Republican league, but the NBA, y'all gave too many black people money
Oh, fucking well. Ha-ha.
who are obviously not all like Ben Carson, so they're going to express themselves.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep using Ben Carson till the end of time. I hate that dude.
Facts.
Anyway.
Yes, Ben Carson, you're still not invited.
Never.
So I just wanted to like shout out the Sacramento Kings owners for that.
That's
I want to
amazing.
say fuck every single media pundit that said Clark needed to comply with orders to be alive. If in the span of 7 seconds someone is yelling at me with a gun and I don't even have the chance to turn around to comply,
how about you don't
murder me?
even have the chance to fucking actually like process what the fuck's going on.
Yep.
7 seconds. Like how you go? It's like, okay, think about when you play. This is a horrible example. When you play a game, your reaction time has to be really good in order to win this game, right? How about this ain't a game? It's my fucking life. Yeah. So if I don't do something in a split second decision, it's gonna literally cost me like life because you don't have the balls enough to fully process what the fuck's going on. Or the training, or is it the training, or is it were you not trained enough, or did they not give you fuck enough to train you on how to be a real man and not fucking pull out a gun and really assess the situation? Fuck out of here!
So,
this shit's ridiculous.
The video was out, if I'm not mistaken, right, of the whole thing. Yeah. So I watched the video, and I'm gonna be honest with you, it wasn't 7 seconds. It doesn't seem like 7 seconds at all. Like he turned the corner, put your hands up, gun. That's what it sounded like for me because I watched it and I was just like, huh? Because I was watching and reading at the same time. I was like, what? And shout out to the Sacramento Kings because you know what, at the end of the day, like it's shit like this that happens all the time. And I'm so glad for social media because here it is. I like to say before everything popped off, we lived in our bubble. We lived in our bubble, like New York was the worst, blah blah blah. And then we started seeing how some of the other states had it.
Yo, facts.
You know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, New York is bad, but it's just like, wow, they gunned this man down in his own yard. You know what I'm saying?
For not breaking the law.
And there's so many instances of this. There's so many names to say.
And if people are confused as to why people are mad about Stephon Clark getting murdered for minding his goddamn business in his own house, Nicholas Cruz murdered 17 children at Parkland and was taken alive after they knew he had murdered people. Right?
Yep.
So think about that. They knew he killed 17 people. He's still alive. No one fired a shot. This man was in his backyard.
Minding his motherfucking business.
And this isn't the first time this happened. Remember the guy that gunned down the people in the church? Yeah. Not a shot fired. In fact, they stopped to get him a Whopper.
Now his sister is being a little dumbass too. Dylan Roof's sister?
No.
Oh, you didn't hear about that?
Don't you mean Nicholas Cruz?
No. I'm talking about Dylan Roof.
The guy that shot up the club. The church.
The church.
Really?
His sister is being a little bitch too. Yeah.
What do you mean?
Google it.
Okay.
All right.
She's basically spewing the same hate bullshit in her own school.
Yeah.
Oh, so what does that mean? Is that a bad apple situation, or does that mean that the fucking parents are liable for that? Yeah, we need to start locking up motherfuckers. Again, we need fucking we need IQ tests for people to start procreating. Because honestly, if your ass can't fucking learn how to, invest in your child, something that's not negative and fucking just toxic, you don't need to be having no fucking kids, okay? Y'all always worry about black people having these kids. Hey, guess what? We have a whole bunch of kids. 1 or 2 might be kind of fucked up, but that's okay. Out of the rest of them, we'll get it together. All your kids is fucked up.
No, we balance the fuck out. No, because you know what?
We play the numbers.
Because you know what? I'm gonna go back to my card. we have yet to shoot up a university or school.
Facts.
Say what you want about gang culture. A whole university or school.
No, there are black shooters. The Navy Yard shooter was a black shooter.
Oh, he went to the Navy?
He was highly trained by the American government?
No, he was an administrator. He wasn't a Navy vet. He was like a behind-the-scenes guy. There's videos
But you
of him
still
walking
get
down the
basic
hallway
training.
with a
Yeah, you
shotgun.
do.
But you get
definitely
basic
do.
training.
No, not to be. You can be a civilian employee of the Navy. You know that, right? Y'all do know that, right?
I don't believe you. You need more people.
I felt like he was
Anyway.
brainwashed. And like I said, whole university, school.
My point being
Stop
is
having
No
these
death
kids.
cult involved.
my point being is that despite everything that's happening in America, especially with the March for Our Lives this weekend, police violence is part of the gun violence debate.
Facts.
As of this year, I think up to this point, there's been 238 people that have been killed by police officers in the United States. If I'm trying to remember the number correctly. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But
The fact that there's even a number to remember.
no,
is a
but to
fucking
compare it
problem.
to other countries with similar levels of gun violence, not gun violence, no one has gun violence like us, but to compare it to other countries with similar levels of guns amongst the population, they don't come close to us. Like, just point blank, there's no other country that comes close to us when it comes to like just number of people getting killed by cops in the Western world.
Fucking money driven, man.
But I'm going to move on from that. Stephon Clark, we're not going to forget about you. It seems that people in the community are organizing.
Yeah.
Shout out to them. Shout out to them.
And shout out to everybody who's organizing, because I know now that we're going to transition into whose man's is this.
Shout out to Emma.
Oh wait, I had someone
Not
else
who's
to
man's is
talk
this. We're gonna-
about.
Oh, what's that?
The social activist in Brazil that got fucking assassinated
Oh my God! Yeah, that's a
in her fucking car.
Oh my God!
I'm trying to find it. I have it.
By the way, Brazil is
another
the
place.
largest black country outside of continental Africa in the world.
Indeed.
And it got more slaves than any other country in the Western Hemisphere. But if you look at Brazilian TV, there are no black people present. If you look at Brazilian government, there's barely any black people present. Look at the Brazilian police force, barely any black people present. Because being black in Brazil is still not the shit.
Yep.
Even though, 40+% of the population is fucking black. And this woman, she was a city councilman, a former activist who used to expose police corruption. If you don't know, by the way, the favelas of Brazil, everyone knows them from City of God.
Yep.
But if you ever watch that movie, you know that those drug dealers don't exist in a vacuum. The cops are getting their money with them. Mm-hmm. And she used to expose them for doing that, and it cost her life, apparently. They try to set it up to make it look like a robbery, but it wasn't a robbery. Nothing was taken. Someone just drove up to her and an associate at the light and took her life. And, not knowing that much about Brazilian politics,
Marielle Franco.
the reaction to a city council member getting killed to spark a 1 million person protest shows you the impact of your work. So when you think you can do something like that, notice that one person died, a city council member, mind you, not a senator, a city council member, and 1 million people showed up because the issue that she was tackling wasn't just a black issue, wasn't just an issue based on class. If you're dealing with corruption and an abuse of power, it affects everybody. Some people like to pretend it doesn't affect them. It affects everybody.
Of course it does.
And it was dope to see people rally and not let this fear and intimidation get them down. And it also shows that police reform is an issue that needs to be addressed around the world, not only in America, but that needs to be a global problem. Wherever apparently there's black folks, there's people trying to shoot us for no goddamn reason. Unfortunately, Jesus. But R.I.P. to her.
Yes.
I hope her movement
Because
continues.
that was another big thing that happened this past week. That was like ugh.
Oh, I almost skipped out. I want to talk about, speaking of people facing consequences for trying to change the police force, Michael Bennett. He's an NFL player, former Seahawks player. He's been indicted this week on some utter bullshit. The Houston Police Department has charged him with incitement of a riot. At the press conference, the police chief needs to share some thoughts about Mr. Bennett and deemed him morally bankrupt as an individual because, I'm sorry, I need the moment because this shit's pissing me off so much. Everyone can see from a mile away that these charges are absolute horseshit. It's just being done because he's a very public voice. They're trying to humble him. But
By arresting him?
But I got some news for you. This ain't slavery times, dog.
Right.
Like, you know that moment where you take the biggest slave in the field and then embarrass him in front of everybody else to show your power?
This ain't this.
This ain't this.
This ain't that.
This isn't that plan don't work out here. It's just not going to be what's going to happen. Like, even if you succeed in trying to prosecute this individual, which, by the way, he's a millionaire, his legal team's going to be super strong.
Shout out to him.
That's not going to happen.
Somebody's going to come up. Someone's going to continue the dream.
Michael Bennett, I hope that you sue the fuck out of this police department, get like $10 million, and take all that money and fund it into whoever is running against that DA.
Yes.
And then show up the day you win. Oh, and just rub it in his fucking face. Because
I thought you were gonna say like make sure like all the people in that local jail will get out, like post all their bail, and then have them go to their house.
Okay, that's a very positive.
Run those jewels, bitch.
Okay, wow. Okay, I see what you did there.
That's the fuck I do. That's how I get shit.
You know
done.
what? You got it. Even from me, you got it. No.
Hey, everyone got to go the fuck home today. But before you do, let me text you this address right here.
And this is not the first.
Bring your Louisville Sluggers, please, and thank you.
This is not the first time the police have basically conspired against this man, because there's an incident in Vegas where they had guns drawn on him, and I was just like, if it wasn't for the fact that all these cameras are out, we could have he could have been assassinated. I'm gonna call it what it is. He could have been assassinated for no BS reason. I'm sorry, I'm looking up the charges right now. Just to read them specifically, but what do you guys thoughts of what you heard so far?
So first of all, he's a classic example of somebody who's getting too powerful too quick. You understand? He's and not even too quick. Like, he's just, his name says too much. And if you don't know of him, like, once you read about him, of course you get behind Michael Bennett and what he stands for, what he's doing. So of course, when people are in fear, what do? They lash out. They try. What was his charge that he was indicted for pushing?
Oh my God!
Person?
For pushing a paraplegic to incite a riot.
Let me. I don't want to miscategorize this. I'm going to read.
We're
what
allowed
CNN
to riot, though, right?
No, we're not. So
we're
gonna read what a CNN said. He was indicted Friday in Houston on a charge of injury to the elderly in connection with the incident that occurred when he was a spectator at the 2017 Super Bowl. What? The Harris County District Attorney's Office said Bennett rushed the field when the game ended to congratulate his brother, Martellus Bennett, who played for the winning New England Patriots. Bennett was told he's a different field entrance, but he pushed through the security detail, which included a 66-year-old paraplegic woman in a wheelchair, Houston police chief said.
Hold on.
So wait.
Hold on.
Wait, your
Super Bowl.
Your security detail included
indicted on charges.
Wait, no. Back up. Your security detail on Super Bowl
included a 66-year-old paraplegic woman.
I don't know about that. That's just, I guess she's present.
If they don't stop with the fuckery, like, what the fuck are you talking about?
In the words of the chief of the Houston Police Department, it's offensive to me that a man who's supposed to be an example, a professional athlete, thinks it's okay to act like this.
It's offensive to me that you would have a 60-year-old paraplegic woman as a security detail. Who's head of that detail? The fucking Care Bears? Like, nigga, who is coordinating this shit? Who is coordinating this shit? Just give him love. He'll be okay. The Care Bears, nigga.
Listen, all I know is if they're about to indict Michael Bennett for this shit, Kevin Hart better watch out. Philadelphia PD probably about to be all over his ass.
I'm done.
Oh my God. Anyway, the charges are bullshit. His lawyer's going to eat the fuck out that case. And again, sue the city, sue the DA, take the money, pay his opponent with it. Please.
Bail out all those motherfuckers in Houston.
Do that too. Because he obviously just wants to waste your time.
You need a contingency plan.
All right, we're going to get off the news because the news is getting me too tight. Anyway, we're going to some fuckery. Some funny fuckery.
Funny fuckery?
Macaroni cheese or some macaroni pie? Personally, the fat kid in me just wants to say, as long as it's real cheese, I don't give a shit either way.
Facts. I don't need that cheese food shit.
Facts.
You ever see? People don't realize there's a difference between like real cheese and not real cheese.
Oh, no. Let's take I need a moment to slander somebody.
Oh shit! Here we go.
The Golden Crust Company. I got a word. I need y'all to step inside the room for a second. Hold on.
Oh, when you have the cheese and bun, it's not real cheese.
Y'all motherfuckers got the nerve.
How did I know that's what the fuck it was?
To put cheese in a... Okay.
First of all, I never got that. Never in my life.
I never had it, but I always seen it, and I was like, that don't look real.
I was like, why?
When you look at the menu, it's spelled CHEEZ. Nigga, that's not cheese.
That's cheesy.
There ain't no cheese.
Chiz.
That reminds me of something else.
I've been to a cocoa bread and beef patty with cheese. I was like, this tastes like yellow. I don't know.
No. That is a valid statement because we all know what blue, yellow, and pink tastes like, and occasionally the red, depending on what we're eating.
And purple.
There you go. Don't even try it.
That's fucked up. Had your whole shit messed up.
Golden Crest, y'all disappoint me that I have to go to a Dominican bodega to get an authentic cocoa bread, beef patty, and cheese. Y'all should be goddamn ashamed of yourself. But anyway, back to this macaroni pie versus macaroni and cheese. White people don't understand the macaroni pie thing for Thanksgiving because in their mind, the mac and cheese is those little TV dinners. So when black people on Twitter talk about that shit, I can see that's the entire middle America going, well, look at these niggas. They out here eating Kraft mac and cheese for Thanksgiving and talking about we can't cook.
So,
look at them.
Okay, from a culinary perspective, when you're in culinary school, you are taught that way to make macaroni and cheese. So the way that most white people eat mac and cheese is the way that Europeans, I think, at some point ate macaroni and cheese. Because I think it's technically a combination of a mother sauce. Mother sauces are all the different sauces that you can make variations of. So that's a Mornay sauce, which is a cheese-based bechamel sauce, cream sauce. So you have your bechamel, you add cheese, you have Mornay, and then you add your pasta. You can have it like that, or you can bake it. So that's a slight, food etymology for you. But
Damn! Felt like I preheat the oven already.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So when, growing up in a traditionally African-American household, I don't like macaroni and cheese like that. I know it's probably blasphemous. I'm a potato person.
No, it's cool.
But
I like potatoes too.
Always had macaroni and cheese. My aunt would be like, yo, I will swap you your macaroni and cheese brick because that's how big the pieces we used to get on our plates were for my serving of potato salad. I'm like, copy. When we making this handover right now. But then with macaroni pie, what is technically macaroni pie?
Okay, so
I need help because someone shaded me because I didn't know what the fuck it was.
First of all, macaroni and cheese. Shout out to macaroni and cheese because macaroni and cheese makes the same sound as good vagina makes. So shout out to macaroni and cheese. Y'all thought I was gonna pass that? You thought I was gonna pass that? And Kraft doesn't make that shit. Shout out to all my black women. All right, cool. So macaroni and cheese, the best.
I'm really fucking mad you brought that shit back up.
Chris knows for a reason. Chris isn't having. Anyway.
Oh my god! If you ever eat Thanksgiving at Mayhem House, if he goes to serve anybody, I'm just gonna call him nasty. Just in that moment.
Nasty.
What's the Mac?
First of all, I'm gonna say it like this: any girl that I dealt with knew whether she was a Mac or not. You know what I'm saying?
Oh!
Girl, you got that Mac.
Good shit.
Let me get that spoonful.
Oh my god!
And if you think about it, technically her mom is the macaroni and pie, but we're gonna get to that later. So macaroni and cheese, honestly, is best made from scratch. Because if you buy like the Velveeta, if you buy the Kraft, it's too heavy on the sauce. And the difference between macaroni and cheese is that it uses pasta elements as well. But the cheese is different. The cheese is like you can get cheddar cheese, you can get mozzarella or whatever. And then the way it's made is it's baked. It's baked. It's not boiled. So first you put it in the oven, you bake it, whatever.
Wait. You put like hard shell macaroni into the oven with your cheese?
No, actually.
That sounds painful.
No, what you do? No. Okay. So let's say you do noodles. Let's say you do noodles, right?
You do noodles.
You boil the noodles first.
You do the noodles. Okay.
You do the noodles. But then what happens is you put down the noodles, you put down the cheese as well, the different cheese that you have, and you bake it, and then you also put the breadcrumbs on top of it.
Okay.
So now you're baking everything.
Okay.
Now the problem is macaroni and cheese doesn't compare to macaroni pie at all. Like once you've had good macaroni pie, you can tell what good macaroni pie is just by looking at somebody else's plate. You understand? After you have, and then you'll verify it. What you'll do is you'll take your knife, your fork, your spoon, whatever, and you'll try to cut it into it. It has to be soft.
I just realized what macaroni pie is because I'm Googling it. I'm just like, this is what we eat at my house. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know it had a special name. I just thought it was that one thing.
It's macaroni pie.
There's a difference because apparently Caribbeans eat macaroni pie
Yeah,
and
'cause
African Americans
Hold
have.
on. We eat it, but not everybody makes good macaroni
Well,
pie.
that's the same thing with macaroni and cheese.
Shout out. No, we need to call that shit out. For real.
Well,
Not everybody in the Caribbean should be making macaroni pie. I'm sorry. It should.
Exactly.
Well, it sounds
Let's
like
stick
to
to your
me the
strengths.
only difference between macaroni pie and macaroni and cheese is the vessel and
cheese.
the cheese.
And the
I
cheese,
think
how it's
I
made.
think
Instead of
Americans
like
use a lot more
boiled and
complex
added
cheese
in, let's just say the sauce, it's baked into rise and kind of stick together. There's different ways to make it, but generally the good tasting way.
So it's more of like a method. It's the method in which you're doing it.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
honestly,
Well, technically there's breading, which separates it because you don't
But
add.
then you can for macaroni and cheese. Like my really good friend, she makes a macaroni and cheese that has 6 cheeses in it.
Right.
And she makes her own breadcrumbs. She butters them and then she puts it on top.
Does she put it on top, or does she cook with it? Meaning like it's cooked at the final product with breadcrumbs in it.
In it? No, on top.
Different. Breadcrumbs is in it. Like it's on top. Don't get me wrong, it's still on top, but
you
it's
mix
baked.
it in-
But it's baked and it's on and it rests on top.
Yeah, y'all want to go to like Sylvia's after this shit?
We know a good roti shop.
Wait, Sylvia's like in Harlem. Sylvia's?
I was making a joke. I don't know.
I'm about to say, don't fucking say that shit in front of me never again in your life.
Why?
Sylvia's is basura. Nah, I can make.
I
I said what I said, and I said, and I meant it.
Right.
Wait, hold on.
Time
So,
out.
if you feel otherwise, throw us a sponsorship. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, she don't even own the shit no more. She sold the shit. A whole bunch of Japanese people own that shit now.
I don't know how to say it in Japanese, but you know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
Chelsea, Red Rooster
I support
instead.
anime.
Eric Samuelson is a little bit better, but
A little bit better. Damn,
There's a
okay.
lot.
Now you just throw in.
I have very high
Now you just got
expectations.
beat. Like-
No, as someone that grew up in Harlem, like I used to go. I don't know if y'all remember this. Perfect example. Remember the place that in the Alicia Keys video, "You Don't Know My Name," when she was the waitress, Pan. That was the fucking place to go and get the best soul food dinner and breakfast. And when that shit burned down, a piece of my soul went with it. I was 10 types of tight. That was the shit. Like, I was highly upset. That was one place that I used to go to for soul food.
I live in East Flatbush. Sylvia is literally the only place I go to for soul food.
Oh,
Because every time everything from me comes from the island.
I've
so
learned. I
Soul
understand.
food from the islands.
No, I gotta make you guys some stuff because my great grandmother, like, basically, intravenously gave me all her knowledge.
Don't you owe me some food from
Don't you owe me some shit too?
No, I don't.
You sure?
Find the receipts. I got receipts on air.
Speaking of soul food, there's some soul food I
Find you
kind of
another
want
chair
to
to
try,
fall
but
off.
don't want to try because I kind of want to try chitlins.
Chitlins?
It
Let me
sounds
tell you
gross,
something.
But I kind of want to
let me
try
tell you
it.
something.
I kind of want to just bite it one time. Like,
I
one
think
time. I'm the only one.
Wait, hold on.
No, you're not.
I want to be there to watch and make a reaction video.
So
that will go viral.
Every year, my grandmother makes chitlins because it's a thing in the South to make. You make chitlins, collard greens, black eyed peas, and each thing represents something different. Yeah. And every year, I'm like, I'm gonna try them. And then they start cleaning it. I'm like, it's a hard pass for me. It smells disgusting. I can't get past the smell.
Oh, when they're preparing it?
Preparing it, I can't get past the smell.
See, because it's intestines, right? See, why does it weird me out? Because I eat blood sausage.
I eat blood sausage
basically
too.
Bloody rice stuffed into intestines.
I know what blood sausage. I eat that too.
This doesn't weird me out. Like,
yeah, no, it's not gonna weird you out. The smell is a turnoff.
Oh, when it's finished? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, fair enough.
That's since I was yay high. I'm every fucking year. I'm like, I'm gonna eat it. I get in the kitchen. I'm like, fuck that shit. let's revisit this shit.
Maybe you
next
gotta
year.
pinch your nose. Try that.
Nah.
That bad? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I know some.
I was
foods.
like, maybe I gotta just do this in another state, like
Probably.
outside with a lot of room for this air to go.
Random story. I was going to a friend's house for the first time in college, and he jokingly said, "Oh, my parents know that you're coming, so they're gonna prepare like soul food for you." I'm just like, "Soul food? What do you mean?" And he lists off the stuff, and I just had to be like, "You know, I'm Guyanese, right? Like,
I don't know where
everything you just said. I see that shit on TV, just like you, dog. Like, what is you talking about?" And so like the moment people just realize, like, oh, not all blacks are the same.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, what is you talking about? Like,
That's why we have to have this macaroni pie versus macaroni cheese. I had no fucking clue.
I didn't even know there was. I just thought it was black. I didn't even know there's a difference.
There's a big difference.
I'm looking at the pictures now. I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. I just thought that's just the way they made it.
I want you to know I'm shaking my head so hard right now. Like, Ocean of all people. First of all, you still owe me pepper pie. Motherfucker.
Why everyone? Wait a minute. How does everyone owe you?
What is going on with my life, yo? This is why I fought Mayhem.
Did
I
you
need better
sign a
friends.
release form saying you're gonna get this nigga pepper pot?
Never.
I didn't sign shit. I'm just saying.
You said it.
I said what?
I don't promise pepper pots to nobody.
He holds out. He holds out. I will say this. Macaroni and cheese is great. You know, I've had macaroni and cheese from when I was little. I used to have it with white rice, fried chicken, maybe some vegetables or whatever.
All kinds of.
But that's because my mother's from the South. And when my mother had me, she used to make it. First of all, shout out to my mom, because to this day, I really feel like nobody makes the same fried chicken as her. And I'm not even being like, oh, that's my mom. She makes the best
have
one.
a nostalgic experience with it. That
like I could taste this chicken right now as I'm speaking to her. You know what I mean? That's just me. But then you know, she passed away. My stepmother stepped in and, you know, definitely helped me make the man that I am. But she introduced me to macaroni pie. Mm-hmm. And when I tell you, and baked chicken, and it was just like, yo, she was on her A game. People, let me tell you, my youngest sister, who's 16 right now, people used to come to her party. Yeah, it's Amanda. What they were really looking for was the food. And two things that were always done was her macaroni pie and the black ginger rice. Son.
Ooh, the Haitian black rice?
Ginger rice could feed you for like at least 3 days.
I used to have straight up arguments with the Haitian restaurant at my old job. Because we walk in there at the end of work and we out of black rice. Nigga, why you think everybody in this room here? The fuck you mean you out of black rice?
And then, like, we made, and the crazy thing is, she had somebody else made it that was part of the family, and she just made the basic, you know what I'm saying, ginger rice with the lentil peas, whatever. Yeah. That's not including, like, some who have, like, crab legs and crab and chicken. Yeah, they go in, and they be all types of spices.
We need to have, like, a cultural exchange situation, because that just made me super hungry.
I'll take y'all to Spolers one day. That'd be a good outing.
Yo.
It's like listen, my mom's
that face just now.
But it's like my favorite.
That face just said, "Really, you better not waste my time."
No, it's like my favorite Guyanese restaurant. It's like it's like premier stuff. You can get Guyanese Chinese food.
Ooh,
I'm just did it for the food. Yeah, what you call it? Put it on my plate. Go ahead.
All right. Speaking of outings, recently this week, P. Diddy was seen on the snaps of chat.
I like what you did there. I like the book of face, the snap of chat. Go ahead.
Bonding with his boo, Cassie, getting a facial together.
He's illegitimate cute boo. Okay, anyway.
Okay, that's first of all.
Still a side chick,
She is not the side chick. She is the primary, okay?
When you say primary, you mean before being an actual girlfriend or like...
No.
She's a girlfriend.
She's his girl. No, she is not a girlfriend. She is
the girlfriend.
She's the girlfriend.
Oh.
Him and Kim Porter aren't together anymore. Why do I know this? Anyway, let me get at this man's life and business.
Because you care about Cassie's feelings so much.
Nah, I care.
It's
feel
you
Cassie.
and her.
Anywho.
What?
It's me and who?
You're at the last stop on the L.
We about to give this nigga a mic on the sidelines because that shit was mad funny. You heard what he said?
Me and who?
Oh, Jesus.
We're never short of flames.
Oh, my God.
It's really warm here.
It's so hot.
And it brought up the conversation about things that couples do to bond together.
Mm-hmm.
I know Vonna was trying to say that Highbridge Chris is never going to get a facial with her. Was that what you're trying to imply?
It's like, oh, what time is it? Your face is looking kind of dull. Time for a facial. He's like, I'm like, nigga, you literally have to just sit there. You have to do nothing. Like, wash your face after 20, 30 minutes. You can play fucking Fortnite. It won't interrupt your shit. Might give you a little energy boost, just saying.
I wasn't going to say anything this episode. Can I defend myself?
Yes, come
here.
No.
Come here. Stay your ass over there. You wasn't about to say nothing anyway.
First of all.
What?
I am not opposed to facials. I know I don't want to look like a slouch standing next to you when I get old. But the maniacal look on your face when you're putting it on me.
I don't have a fucking
I don't appreciate. No, she has this evil smirk.
You know what's gonna happen.
With a paintbrush.
You know what's gonna happen, Chris.
In her hand.
You know what's gonna happen.
Just like ha 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 ha. I like that look.
The evil painter. Yo, that could be if Vonna Sage was a DJ.
Paintball. I love you, but I hate you. Don't get caught lacking.
If Vonna Sage was DJ, the evil painter, Vonna Sage. You know she's gonna take a picture too, right? Oh, you look so cute.
No, I don't take pictures
That's
with
a
him.
lie. Every woman changes their mind.
Christian.
You have.
The bomb.
No, let's go. I know I haven't. I take a picture of myself, but not of you.
I take a picture of myself with you in it.
I know I wouldn't do that to him because I don't feel like having to. You're gonna delete that shit, right? Like, whatever.
So something I've done as far as like bonding with the significant other is I know you go over there for the holidays or whatever. If you meet the family, you play them in the game. One of the games I've definitely played was Quack Diddy-O. So you guys remember that game, Quack Diddy-O? So quack, right?
Wow.
Because she had younger siblings and family members there. So the whole family knew of it. But only certain people got involved of heights. So it was down to me and her. Now, normally, textbook is like you let her win. Me? Nah, I'm trying to show you my dominance. I got her out. But that's a bonding experience because then that lets you know.
I'm gonna
let
everyone in the room.
I'm not letting you win. I'm not letting you win. or Uno. I've definitely done that as well. It's birthday, you're supposed to let her win. Pick up
Uno is not a bonding activity. That's how beef starts. Because if you skip me one more again,
Uno was a prelude to a war. Uno was a prelude game to a war. Like, niggas will not talk to each other after Uno game night. Like, nah, nigga, I'm not fucking with you no more. You dead ass had that for sure for. You didn't even say nothing.
Sure.
Like, I could have went and took a piss or something and nothing. Like, people really get all kinds of tight.
You guys have heard, I'm pretty sure from Facebook, there's a new Uno game coming out called Dos, right?
Yeah.
But before Dos, there was an actual extended pack for Uno. So now they had certain cards. Like, one was actually called Swap, which means like if I have one card and you have like 12, you can swap cards with me.
You can swap cards with somebody.
So you have my hand.
You ever play Uno Attack?
I know.
Uno Attack so you give the cards out, but you put the rest of the cards in this like feeder. Mm-hmm. And instead of drawing, you have to hit. So if you hit the button, you either get no cards or an like insurmountable amount of cards where it's like, fuck my life. So it's fucked up because you'll be like, oh, okay, you gotta tap it twice, you good. That means it's just building up.
Yeah.
And you never know when it's just gonna just let the fuck off.
Okay.
Like just on your face, like, fuck your life. Like, you don't know. I remember I played that shit and I had 20 cards. I said, you know what? Fuck everyone else's cards. I just threw everyone else's hands in the air. I was like, no one's playing anymore.
I will say, this person was probably listening. It was your birthday. I'm very sorry I had to swap cards with you. I'm also very sorry for the draw 14 that you had to do.
Damn!
That I added 2 on. I wasn't picking up the 12 or whatever that was. I'm also very sorry for the fact that when you were bragging, because here's the thing. In Uno, you got to set the ground rules. I became the mediator, right, for the first round. That person kept getting out the first round. I said, okay, I got you. That's the type of person who says, I didn't agree to the treaty. I just went along with it, right? Right, anyway, so then on her birthday night, guess who was taking all those shots? You know who you are. And I'll do it again. But it's a bonding experience because your family was there. We had a great time. There was liquor involved,
I know never to be.
You know what's a great bonding moment for a couple?
What?
Making fun of something.
All the time.
If y'all can make fun of something together because you really understand each other's humor, it's a really great moment. Like watching a bad movie with somebody that you like makes a shitty movie fucking hilarious. Am I wrong about that?
No, you're right. No, you're right.
I make fun of people, so that's what we do together.
Shout out to you. Same here.
Oh, you can make fun of people too. Like you're looking out the window.
No,
you ever like try to create backstories for them? Like looking out the window.
We do. We've done it before. Like, look at this little bitch ass nigga looking like she. And then do like a little voiceover was like, oh, I just trying to get home and get some pussy. God damn.
I was looking out the window like, look at that nigga. You see that outfit? That nigga knew he wasn't going nowhere. He just stepped outside. Fuck it. I get a Newport and some ho-hos.
Oh my God.
Okay. A serious bonding thing you guys can do is drive somewhere. Everybody that drives with me knows I drive how I drive. Blah blah blah. If you don't like it, stay out of my car.
Grand Theft Auto.
We never get
On
caught though.
speed.
But anyway, no, seriously. Like, go somewhere and either she's driving or you're driving, and have one of you guys navigate as well as play music. That's a communication thing.
That's not bonding. That's how you start an argument with me and Chris.
Ooh.
This nigga don't listen.
I mean, it's a map. All you have to do is follow the
I
map.
feel like these two. Okay, so
Oh, maybe not. I'm gonna have.
All right,
I'm gonna take that back. We're gonna have to take that back. Ooh.
Yeah.
That is
shit.
no. That is an argument.
So wait, Issa. Yes, Issa. God damn it. Yeah, you can say something.
All right, man. I'm sorry, yo, with this one.
Damn.
Let me just defend myself, okay? The reason why it was an issue was, if you the passenger driver, you're supposed to be helping me out. You know, you my right hand, you're supposed to be looking out for me, stuff like that. If I need the GPS on go, I'm asking you where we going.
We both never went there.
You supposed to have it all together. I can't do both at the same time. You know?
Mayhem. You see what you did, Mayhem?
My bad.
You see what you
My
did?
bad. I was trying to I thought it was easy. All you had to do was read a map. If the GPS is slow, do the signal. You know what I'm saying?
Some people, no, we have the same issue, but it's the opposite. So Chris will drive. Again, we don't know where we're going, and we kind of know. I have and he can admit to this, I have a slightly better sense of direction than he does, and I'm okay with that, but I'm not the driver. So I'm like, okay, babe, like in half a mile, you're gonna like get off this exit. Okay.
Who knows what half a mile is?
Nigga, you driving.
Who knows?
Hey, how about
Okay.
I take a look at the speedometer and be like, okay, there's a 2 there.
I'm driving.
Before I get to 3, I should probably get the fuck over to the right lane. No?
Okay. All right,
You did
you're right. You're right. I'm gonna set the world straight. I'm gonna let you know how it goes. First of all, if the GPS is slow,
in a surreal fucking experience.
if the GPS is slow, it's due to signal problems. You can pull over, reset the system. You know what I'm saying? Because there've been plenty of times, even when I'm by myself driving, it's like turn here. I thought you said I had 500 feet. Well, you know what I'm saying? So that's another thing. If the exit is coming up, you need to tell your person, listen, the exit is coming up. We got 200 feet. 200 feet. Or what you could do is look ahead, because all you have to do on a touchscreen is scroll down or zoom out.
I do that too.
Or zoom out, listen,
He
and then
don't
listen.
He don't
Look,
fucking
we're supposed to
listen.
get off Cross Island,
He don't
look for that
listen.
exit. You know what I'm saying?
You don't listen.
Okay, so then now it's a communication thing. I need to turn off the radio. That's what y'all need to
You
do.
got something to say, Chris? You talking a lot of hee-haw behind my back, motherfucker. You got
All
something
right.
to say?
How did we get here?
Unity. We're going to move on to the next topic. Yeah. We're going to close.
I had so many ideas, like kayaking
Nah,
for
we're
two
just-
and
we're
stuff.
just gonna-
You're not paddling right.
We're just gonna move
Yo,
on.
Real
We are
quick,
going
I
to
had a
move
really
on.
shitty bonding experience with my ex from high school. We actually went to a retreat with one of my other programs, and we were in canoes. We were canoeing in the lake, whatever. The other set of friends were in canoe. They thought it would be fun to try to run us over.
Y'all were still in the circle?
Nigga, I fell the fuck off the canoe.
That's hilarious.
This is why you can't take Kiss from the City nowhere.
Fuck that. No, fuck that.
But I'd like to say
Outside the lake, sir.
I jumped out, but I saw the shit coming like fucking Jaws.
She jumped
And I left that nigga in the canoe, and I jumped out. But I managed to jump into the water feet first. My head did not get wet.
Vonna's stories are never short of hilarious. Remember the one she was on the medicine ball?
Yo, fuck out of here. That shit wasn't funny. That shit hurt. I almost died. That's not funny. Almost died.
All right, we're gonna. Okay,
Yo, there's not a woman alive that will condemn you for that. Like, you did what you had to do, girl.
Choices.
Oh my god.
I had priorities. I just got my fucking fucking washing
set?
set. I wasn't trying to get that shit wet. I was tight.
We're gonna move on to the
Lost my Tim. Like, it was a fucking mess.
Oh my god.
to our weekly flaming session known as Whose Mans Is This? I'd like to nominate the Republican Party of Pennsylvania.
All of them.
So the entire party. So
All of them.
there's long story short. They created some voting maps that were favored towards them, so they'd win every election no matter how everybody voted. A judge said those maps were illegal, threw them out. Republicans challenged in court. They lost the court case. They were ordered to redraw the maps. They said, go eat a bag of dicks. The judges redrew the maps for them. The Republicans challenged those maps. They lost again. So now there's maps that are drawn that are supposed to equally represent the voters of Pennsylvania. This is a positive development.
Yay.
Here's why it's the whose man's is this. In response to this, the Republican Party is trying to impeach every single Democratic member of the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania for voting to have more equal voting maps. Y'all are some bitches. Y'all like a whose man's this. Y'all are some straight hoes. I can't even understand this. I do understand, but it's like, it's so stupid. It's just like, it got so bad that even the Republican head of the Pennsylvania Supreme Court had to issue a statement saying, this is a bad look. Y'all shouldn't be doing this. Y'all look bad. Stop doing this. And that's him talking to his own party. So for me, my personal whose man's this goes to the entire fucking Republican Party of Pennsylvania. I hope all of y'all fall down the flat. Okay, that's not fair. I take that back. That's really...
Fall down the face twice.
No. That's
fall
not
up
cool.
and then down.
I hope y'all all get voted out of office.
Catch chlamydia.
Then fall down the steps on your way out.
And get oral herpes.
What?
No.
So anyway,
maybe they'll keep their bitch asses shut the fuck up.
My whose man's is this is Killer Mike. Fuck that nigga. I hope you bleach your skin so much you think you're white, and then they put you in the black holding cells. Thank you.
Oh, I got another whose man's is this. Your boy Mark Zuckerberg out here.
Yo.
So in case you didn't know, Facebook this week finally admitted that a company named Cambridge Analytica breached the accounts of 50 million people. Just for the record. Everyone that has Facebook, if you're surprised that Facebook has a ton of information on you, I have some very sobering news for you.
Wait.
There's these two companies called Google and Apple who know a lot more. Just FYI. It's just FYI. People are like, can you believe that Facebook know my location?
Bro,
you have a Google phone.
Right. Are your location settings on?
How about
there you go.
They try to pinpoint me in some backwoods swamp. Okay, no, seriously, in a swamp somewhere in New Orleans. When I don't know like how I hit the location button on Facebook. I don't even fuck with Facebook like that. But it was like a swamp. I was like,
I've had that happen to me. It's like, oh, you're here. I'm like, no, the
I'm
fuck
not.
I'm
Exactly.
not. I've had that happen to me before too.
Randomly Siri turns on. Randomly my tablet for Google turns on, and we're talking. How? You weren't even in this conversation, bro.
No one invited you.
Also, I want to add on to that for the people who are still to this day saying Facebook, you cannot use my likeness, pictures, and whatnot.
Oh my god! I hate
According
y'all.
to this article that doesn't exist, segment, stature, whatever, you're lying to yourself because you agreed to the terms and conditions. That is the most basic way that I can say that you're a dumbass. Go ahead, back to you, Ocean.
So here's why Mark Zuckerberg gets my whose man's is this. So Cambridge Analytica supposedly breached 50 million. I said supposedly for this reason. Facebook collects all of our data.
All of it.
They know who our friends are. They have our old pictures. They know where we went to school, who we hang out. We have all of that, right? Facebook also sets the rules for how they manage that data. Cambridge Analytica not only broke those rules, they did it with your knowledge. You were informed of this 2 years ago at this point. You didn't give a shit then. When people started asking you questions as the fact that Donald Trump colluded with Russians started coming up, you didn't give a shit about it then. Only this week, when it was revealed all the dirty tactics that Cambridge Analytica does on that Channel 4 investigation where we did article, and then Facebook lost $50 billion this week, all of a sudden Mark Zuckerberg, we made a mistake. We didn't even know this was happening. That's impossible. Here's a little technology thing. When you're an outside app interacting with Facebook, you have to interact through something called an API. An API is basically the software tool that allows an outside vendor to interact with Facebook or Twitter or any other sort of company like that. Anything that passes through the API, they're aware of. In short, Facebook was fully aware that Cambridge Analytica had taken on information from 50 million people. There is no way Facebook is unaware that 50 million people's accounts got their data compromised. It's impossible. They're literally a company that exists into micro-profiling you. The reason you see the ads on your profile is based on specifically what you do. So you think if 50 million people had their data stolen, they wouldn't have noticed? Get the fuck out of here. And their pushback of like, trust us, it's like, no. This company broke the rules you set with your help. And the only reason that you're trying to like acknowledge that there was even an issue is because you lost money.
Money. And
how are we supposed to trust you?
And the sting operation of the undercover sting operation got fucking
blown up.
Like that shit was crazy. If neither of those things
happened, you wouldn't have said shit.
Exactly.
Right. So
stop trying to fucking come back and try to clean up crew to shit. Like nah, nigga.
Like there needs to be serious regulation of companies like Facebook, Google, Apple, all those companies that comes to our data because in other countries we have rights. Like for example, in Germany, it's a right to forget law. Like if you want your name scrubbed off the internet, the companies legally have to do that. They'll be fined like I think $20 million for every day that your name is still there.
Dope.
Try doing that shit in America. I dare you.
Well, think about it. Ever since like the fucking the Patriot Act, everyone's been under high surveillance because everyone, and I put that in quotation marks.
Not everyone
can become a person of interest just based off of what the fuck you like. But the part of it is you're still getting profiled based on those likes, and the people that are actually committing the fucking crimes aren't the ones being profiled. The fuckery continues.
Also, here's why another whose man's is this. While Mark Zuckerberg is talking about privacy, he's currently working with Comcast to fight California's laws that are going to create the strongest privacy protections in the United States. He's trying to kill it, but he's doing it secretly because he knows it's not really a positive thing right now for him to be seen associated with a bill to do that. But he's funding groups fighting to kill that law.
I stopped fucking with him when he bought that fucking piece of Hawaii and is fucking up those people's lives in Hawaii. He bought. You heard about that? The private island he's bought in Hawaii, and he's basically trying to evict a whole bunch of people off of it. And Hawaiians will play that shit. They're like,
you got $50 billion. That sounds like some shit you do. That's some villain shit right there.
Cue the maniacal laugh, but it's like, but you. Like, all right, fuck it. That's what you want to do? I really start fucking. I literally have come this close to fucking just saying fuck Facebook.
I just want to add this about the internet. Me and Ocean have this conversation like I want to say every couple of weeks, if not every couple of months. What you do out there is on the internet until we get that right to like erase us from the internet. And even then
it's still there.
It's still going to be there. You know what I'm saying? Because I know our government and just in general, everybody's got receipts. But I want to take you back because. For me, Facebook literally pops up as notifications for me. Like, oh, you like this post. This post just put this. You might like this. Mm-hmm. This post has this. I have all these different tracking footwear. Once I put up, I was at Planet Fitness once, that's it. Like, it's all over the ads and everything. And you guys aren't realizing what it's doing to us. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're all like, oh, it's social media. It's not that serious, la, la, la. But they have your information, where you go, where you went to eat, whatever.
They profile you.
They're tracking you. You know what I'm saying? It's not that hard. Like,
what is that shit? It's like Eagle Eye. Remember that movie with Shia LaBeouf? It's Eagle Eye. Every time I fucking think about that shit,
it's actually getting closer to Minority Report.
Even fucking better. Even creepier. Thanks, Danny.
Because I'm sorry.
But the fuck I want to hear on my Sunday afternoon.
Judges are starting to use predictive software in their sentencing.
What was the movie we just saw? We finally saw Blade Runner.
How was that?
That was fucking. It was fucked up.
But was it good?
It was good. Did you like it, baby?
It was dry, but
like a raisin.
All right. So
no, if shit don't blow up every 5 fucking seconds for him, it's dry. Get the fuck out of here.
We obviously going on a tangent. Do you guys have anything else for whose man's is this? So we're gonna close. So we're gonna close out this week with our joy. Then.
All right. Sure.
My joy this week. I was talking about this with Juice. I'm going to shout out the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, the biggest gangster on the face of the earth. I have never seen a dude do so many bully moves in one freaking month. To give you context, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia is not technically the ruler of Saudi Arabia. His dad, the king, is. However, the king before his dad was not in their side of the family tree. So the king before his dad has set up his sons to take the throne, but the crown prince is not his son, right? So he knows that there's still people potentially in his way. Not as of this month, there aren't. The crown prince of Saudi Arabia gathered basically everyone that used to bang with the old king, all the powerful sons, locked them in the Ritz-Carlton and proceeded to pistol whip them. And to understand what that means is like, one of the people that he locked in the Ritz-Carlton against his will is one of the 20 richest men in the world. When he got locked up, stocks dropped around the world, and like the United States government, the British government, and the French government, like, excuse me, I heard you snatch X. Where is he? You can't just be like snatching dudes like that. And then like Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia was just like, he good. He did an interview where he had lost weight and grew a beard. If you ever seen pictures of this man, there's 2 things he's never done: lost weight and grow a beard. So both of those were choices he did not have to make. And you're like, why did the Crown Prince lock all those people in the Ritz-Carlton?
Let them asses know.
He took $106 billion off of them. He said, y'all want to get out this Ritz-Carlton? Start signing over your companies. $106 billion in assets and $13 billion in cash. And he said it's part of a anti-corruption probe. Listen, man, this is some Game of Thrones shit. It's just like, oh, you a billionaire? Oh, that's cool. When I slap you in the face with this gun, let's see how them riches help you in this moment.
Oh, shit.
That's a great analogy for the Batman movie.
I've never seen... And then
Facts.
He did an interview of 60 Minutes. And everyone's like, 60 Minutes... First of all, this interview of 60 Minutes was some complete bullshit. Then I asked him any tough questions. Understandably so, he's a little bit of a scary dude.
Right. I ain't fucking with it.
But they asked him one question. They said, what can stop you from becoming the next king of Saudi Arabia? What did my man say?
Nothing.
Death.
Oh, shit.
He basically came at them like 6'9". He basically is just on 60 Minutes like, y'all know where I'm at. Y'all know where the palace at. Pull up.
Oh, shit.
Free smoke.
Once again, I'm just going to say the Batman analogy for Bane. You think this gives you power over me because why?
So that's my joy of the week, because their Saudi Rally family is terrible piles of garbage. And to hear just a large number of them get treated so badly for the first time in their lives just made me feel good on the inside.
That's old fucking D.
Watch that interview, son. He's so calm and delivered.
Yeah,
and he's so friendly, too. He comes across as a very charming guy.
Because he's not afraid of nobody. He's not afraid of shit. Yeah.
Free smoke, free smoke.
Right. My joy for the week was basically being ambushed via FaceTime by my play nieces in Jersey. I haven't seen them in a couple of months, so they like FaceTime me with their mom and their dad, and I basically got talked to death by a 4-year-old for an hour straight, and it was amazing. She's like, and Vonna, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and I could play match game, and my babysitter sucks. She only won 3 times. Aria, how many times did you win match? About 20. And then I was telling my friends about my natural girl hair journey, and how I braid up my hair, and I put either a bonnet or
her
a scarf.
natural girl hair journey at 4?
She got a lot of hair.
Christ.
Got a lot of hair.
Her mother's raising her right. That's what the fuck that's about. But it was just so good to see her and her baby sister, and just checking with my girlfriend and her husband. It was like, that was like the best conversation I've had with another human being in a long time via FaceTime. It was awesome.
That's dope.
It was worth all the megabytes I just spent.
I got 2 moments of joy.
Look at you.
My moments of joy, first one is going over to Natural Women and telling them, asking them for me to give them a lineup. You know what I'm saying? Keep your baby hairs, all that good stuff. I can make your hair popping, girl. Of course, they deny me, but I love their reaction. Why you gotta hit me? You get one too.
No, bitch, I don't need a lineup. I have a hairline. That was for all the chicks that probably wanted to smack you.
I'm going to bring out your edges, girl, better.
I have edges. I don't need you to help them come out.
All right,
Okay.
man, carry on with your story, please.
My second moment of joy is shout out to Big Sean reaching his 30th birthday. You know what I'm saying? Letting the world know that Janae Aiko got that Badu fuega.
And
you know what I'm saying?
And loves his penis as well.
See, first of all,
what am I going to do for my 30th? She sex.
Also, we need to point out
When
that
you
he
said
didn't cheat
it
because
was
black men
over.
don't cheat. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you. Shout out to you, Big Sean. Now his slandering
Word,
your name.
because they
Shout out to
came
you,
after
black
him. He
man.
was like, damn, son. Shout out to Janae also. You got it.
All right, this has been the last stop on the L. Wrapping up this week. You can find me on Twitter at Danny Ocean, DWNYOCION. Holla at me. I'll be out here flaming people all week, as I usually do.
Yo, it's your boy Mayhem Mike. You can find me at YFR Mayhem. Of course, support the channels Last Stop on the L on Instagram, Twitter, and of course Facebook. But also hit me up on my new Twitter handle. I give natural hair lineups. Vonna Sage first. Hashtag. Boom. Bring your edges out, girl.
Vonna's age here. Trying really hard not to smack a bitch.
Let your soul glow.
Oh my God. Anyway, we catch y'all next time. Bye.
Yo, I'm coming for the game this year, I'm what? Coming for the game this year, I'm what? I said I'm coming for the game this year, I'm what? Coming for the game, yeah. I said I'm coming for the game this year, I'm what? Coming for the game this year, I'm what? I said I'm coming for the game this year, I'm what? Coming for the game, yeah. I said I'm coming for the game this year, that's me. I had to switch it up on these MCs just so they know that I'm in a different league. I got the Mercedes, now I need speed. Paid it in cash, I don't need a receipt. I think they forget that I'm the elite, the most successful independent MC since 2015. But back then I thought the BM was green. Thought I was cold in a Series 3. 3 years later, and I bought the Hurricane Spider with the suede racing.